Said. So what is this modern tools? How these modern tools are useful for the social sciences? So let me tell you that we are all in the era where the artificial intelligence has taken over. Okay, so all of us, we are learning artificial intelligence. We are learning computers. We are learning the other statistical or any other softwares. But remember, these modern days students, because we have students all over the country in our universities, they are so fast. So they are faster than ourselves. They are miles ahead of us because they are born. They are born in the era of the technology, whereas we are learning technology. So there is a difference. So they are so far. Just to tell in our universities, they are so far that they will prepare everything. That too after the advancement of this modern technologies like AI and other things. So within a fraction of a second, they'll come up with beautiful ideas. They'll come up with wonderful topics. All these things, even in fact, it has been a challenge for all of us how to cope up with their speed as a faculty members. So in that sense, so how we can use this AI, artificial intelligence, to tell you the university. Now it has been made mandatory for across all the courses, for arts, commerce, sciences, because they are very keen on pushing the students towards the AI technology. In fact, the central government is also initiating so many programs how to motivate students towards the artificial intelligence. Okay, though we have both good and bad and pros and cons of these artificial intelligence, for social sciences, that's definitely going to benefit a lot. Okay, and to tell you some background of what is the AI technology and how it is evolved over a period of time. Now we have perhaps evolved from the qualitative small scale industries, small scale studies, to the data driven large scale analysis. So if you look at our thesis, our way of learning goes back to like maybe around, as Professor Siddhins mentioned, we did our PhDs long back and we did not have all these AI technologies and other things. So basically our study was based on these surveys and interviews where we used to go to the field, collect the data manually. Okay, we used to work hard, we used to record all these handwritten documents, which was difficult to analyze and it was always prone to errors. And there was limited scope for statistical methods. Okay, only we used to do only basic regression and other descriptive statistics. However, like I mentioned in the beginning, with the advancements of this technology, the modern tools, the researchers have a lot of scope, lot of opportunities these days. Now, we have moved to this known as the digital transformation of research, where with the rise of big data, in fact, in our university we have separate department for the big data analysis, department of big data and artificial intelligence. So, the rise of big data, rise of artificial intelligence and machine learning, so all these have made the research so easy in fact. Okay, you don't have to go to the field, you don't have to go to the collection of the data and analysis. I think we are all familiar with the ChatGPT. Most of you are folks who have an account on this ChatGPT. Okay, you tell anything, within a fraction of a second, click on the mouse, it gives everything. So in fact, we are also surprised what is going to happen in the future. We don't know to what level this artificial intelligence takes, what is the logical end for this artificial intelligence. Perhaps the social science research over the years may become so diluted because of all this technology and modern tools. Now, and to tell you, we cannot take up all the artificial intelligence tools. Maybe I will be showing few of them You can just Google after your sessions, maybe after you go home, you can just try out many things. However, one or two, just we will try out as a hands-on session. Now, what is the importance of modern tools in social science? As I said, it helps in data collection, analysis, visualization, collaboration. It makes the researchers can handle the large data sets. You can analyze the trend, include research, and so on. Now, as I said, we have the powerful tools like Hadoop, Spark, Python. You're all familiar with these ones, I hope. So these have empowered the researchers to efficiently process and analyze vast data sets, extracting and meaningful patterns and correlations. Now, we have these methods earlier, the online surveys. Okay, nowadays I think Dr. Subramanian has also spoken about some of the mobile online surveys, Kobo and ODS. So I will just run through all these things. You can just take some of the important tools which helps you in your research. For example, this Google Forms. There is something called Qualtrics, SurveyMonkey. So all these are the online survey apps, okay, where you can register at free of cost. However, this artificial intelligence, though to initiate, you don't have to pay. However, if you go on, now you have to pay for that. It's not every artificial intelligence tools are free of cost. You have to pay for that, and it's quite a lot of money that you have to pay. Maybe the ChatGPT, even the advanced level of ChatGPT also you have to pay. But the basic level of ChatGPT, you can freely register and you can analyze. So there is something called Netflix and Nurexcel, which studies shows that 80% of the social media data is now used for the social science research. That Nurexcel and this Netflix and so on. Then one of the surveys says that 70% of the social science research now incorporates social media data for sentiment analysis and trend forecasting. Social media data in the news, in the media and all you might have seen. So they use all these AI tools to collect the data and interpret. Then coming to the statistical softwares, of course SPSS, data, R, Python. So we are all familiar with these things. Then these machine learning and artificial intelligence have increased the predictive analysis by manifold, like up to 25 to 30% of the predictive analysis has been increased by this machine learning and AI. And of course, I was talking about this, the big data in economics. Over 60% of economics researchers now use the big data like Python and R. Okay. So this is just to give you some glimpse about what is the importance of the data analysis and their usefulness in the social science research. Now, if you go to some of the advanced visualization techniques, in fact, I was going through some of the sessions conducted in the last previous year. Some of you might have had this session on visualization, mapping and other things. So there is a beautiful tool called Tableau. I think some of you might have been aware of this. Tableau, you have heard it? Tableau. Yeah, Power BI, Tableau. Then there is ggplot, ggplot 2, ggplot 4. So just Google all these things because we cannot take up all these things because of the time constraint. Because basically I was told to talk on the hypothesis testing. Since the topic for this session is going to be AI, I was just trying to look at all these things. So Tableau you can try, Power BI, ggplots, beautiful visualization of the data, and in fact this GIS and space analysis, it is said that the World Health Organization used GIS mapping to track COVID-19 spread, helping governments to plan interventions about 30% faster than the traditional methods. So it has benefited in that way. They can do analysis which is 30% more than what was traditionally they are doing it. Then some of the qualitative data analysis softwares which we call it as QDS. So there is one leverage the analysts have started using the NVO softwares. NVO, then Atlas TI, okay, MaxDoc. So all these help organizing and interpreting the textual multimedia data and many other things. I have listed a couple of softwares, statistical software, which are quite useful for our social science research. For the data collection, we can use this survey for how these modern tools in social sciences help for the collection of data, for data analysis like SPSS or Python, data visualization, softwares like Tableau and Power BI. Okay. Then for collaboration and reproductivity, and for cloud-based platforms like Google Docs, Overleaf, GitHub. Okay. All these there are many like this. So in fact, it has become a big ocean, the artificial intelligence. Then I think some of the resource persons that took the session on deforestation might have spoken to about GIS. Then I'll just tell you some of the data collection tools. For online surveys, you can use this Google Forms, Qualtrics, SurveyMonkey, okay, Python, R, social media analytics, which includes Netflix, okay, and mobile data. For mobile data collection, this using this Cobra toolbar, Open Data Kit. There is also ODK. It's just type in your Cobra toolbars. Open Data Kit, ODK, Cobra toolbox. For data analysis, so we have statistical softwares, spreadsheets, MS Excel, Google Sheets. For qualitative data analysis, as I said, the NVO is nowadays very popular. NVO, Atlas IT, MaxDX. For big data and AI, Python, Pandas, NumPy, machine learning. Right. So if you go to this field now, it will completely become blank. As what is what's that going to happen in the data analysis field. For data visualization, as I said, you can go with this Tableau, Power BI, ggplot, R, and the GIS and spatial analysis. So these are some of the tools that you can use.
It's available free of, sir?
Well, some of them are free and some of them are not. In fact, many of them are not. You have to pay for them. But up to certain extent you can get the data. For example, there is one Gamma. I think you have heard about it. Gamma.
Yes.
So up to 8 or 9 cards they will give you. Otherwise, you have to. After that, you have to. I will try one Gamma here. Today. You have to pay for that. Similarly, other apps you have to pay.
The Tableau, sir?
Tableau free.
It is free. Whether you install, sir?
You can install and try. Even the ggplot also is free. So some of the these are some of the, as I said, we cannot go to all these details and because of time constraints. Some of the things that you can try is, like I said, perhaps in the research analysis, review of literature and some of the acts there is something called HUMAT. You have heard about it, right? HUMAT.
HUMAT.
HUMAT. HUMATA. There is my notebook. I'll just show how wonderful this HUMATA is for the researchers, basically for the social science research.
What is this? Single dot.
You just try to install this one. It's free of cost.
HUMATA.
Tumata AI, where you can condense your research. You can just ask to read and summarize all these things. It will do. Okay, you can go to the Sumata and download this app and when you register.
No, they are asking login, sir.
Yeah, login. You have to create login ID and register. It's free of cost. Don't have to pay for it. Okay. Then you download it. Register for it. They will send you a link for your Gmail ID and you have to use it for registration. Done. So all of you registered?
Yes, sir. Wait.
Registered.
Just wait 1 minute, sir.
Okay.
They are asking link, then sign up.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
See, you need not to review any document or anything. You just type, give me the summary. If it is 500 pages document also, it will give you, it will condense it and give you in one paragraph. So look at the uh, how far we have reached with the artificial intelligence. You can try upload your PDF or any document,
Okay.
however big the document is. You say, you give me the summary in 2 paragraphs, just stop, that's it.
So we can upload multiple papers.
Multiple papers. Try one small file first. You can upload PPTs, you can upload text, you can upload PDF file. I think we are all doing research, right? Huh? So you might have downloaded some journal articles. You take out one review of literature journal and paste it here. Just type, give the summary. You don't have to read the entire article, just in one paragraph it will give you the.
Sir, how many pages we can upload?
I think
Upload
it's.
a judgment.
Huh?
We upload a judgment.
Judgment is not there. Suppose, see, that's what the limitation. Up to certain extent, they will give you the free. If you want to upload more, means you have to pay for it. But anyway, if the file size is small, you can keep on uploading. I have tried with some of this one.
It is uploaded, sir.
Uploaded, huh?
So uploading, sir.
Yeah.
Then what we have to do, sir?
Then you have to here. You go here.
Yes.
Ask. Can you see this? Ask.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. You ask. Type here. Okay. For example, I am referring to this article. Okay. Just type. Give the summary of the article. Give the summary of the article. See? So, social science research is becoming now. Now you can ask it, modify it, give it in one paragraph. One paragraph. It does. Only one paragraph. See how beautiful it is.
It's so good, sir. But looking for with respect to same cannot be put into for paper publication.
Yeah.
But plagiarism is bad.
Plagiarism, see, most of the times this AI technology will not detect the plagiarism. So that is one safer side. We can modify this one. Give me in points. Give me in points. Give me some highlights.
Give me some highlights.
Some highlights.
So how about references, sir?
References will not give it, sir.
API or what's the references?
What?
If you ask for the references in API or like Harvard style, will it give, sir?
No, it only to summarize and give the important highlights.
No, it's a free version, sir.
Free. All of you have downloaded.
No, for validity for maybe 1 year or maybe.
That's free. It's free. But up to certain size of the file. After that, you have to pay for it. Maybe like if it's a big file, the size is big. You can just download one research article and try it out.
Yes, sir.
You try, give me in points. So all these things were not there when we were doing PhD, otherwise we would have done wonders. You have to go to the library, sit day and night and this one.
Sir, I have uploaded 10 papers, sir. We had to ask questions for one individual paper.
Don't ask for all 10. One by one you can do it.
Okay.
Uploaded like something.
So it can't be reference, sir. It can be only one reference.
Yeah. Now
Delete
you can
it.
write,
It's asked for.
give me some important highlights.
Yeah. Wait. Before you go for upload. And then you upload.
See, some important highlight it gives.
It's coming, sir. It's coming. Then it's coming. Last. Wait.
See, probably you are, some of you are doing at the review of literature stage. You
Yes,
said.
yes, sir.
So at that stage is going to be very helpful.
Yes.
That means if you put in for 10 review of literature,
One by one you have to do so. Don't do it together.
no sir, for if you taking as a the 10 review of literature and put it to that summarizing this,
I will give some.
that's you for 10.
We can ask for the hypothesis and
Yeah,
research
yeah.
gap and variables, which tools can you use,
Yeah.
how many samples.
So upgrading for OCR, they asking that articles will be deleted, you go for something you go for some other.
I think for now for this or for our thesis and all, now there is no need of proofreading.
Yes,
Nobody now they have stopped proofreading because of all this AI technology and there will be any grammatical mistakes, construction of this one, everything will be pakka. In fact, you can try with this Grammarly. I think you are doing with Grammarly.
sir, Grammarly.
Mendeley is a very good software. Mendeley.
Sir, can you give some how use it Mendeley?
That I don't have the app, but it's in another laptop. You can try. All this you can try. So it's not that very difficult ones. If you try, it will definitely come.
The Mendeley is only giving for the reference, sir.
Reference and also some highlight
Literature review, we can do review.
review of literature. But basically it is used for the references, MLE and the APL style. Okay. There is also the software called, it is called Trinka.
Trinka, sir.
Trinka for Grammarly check.
Please spell it, sir.
Trinka.
Trinka. For grammar check.
Yeah, grammar check, Trinka. Similarly, you have this one, no? What is that? One of you said that Gamma.
Gamma.
AI Gamma. You have tried AI Gamma?
No, sir, no.
Presentation.
Yeah, presentation.
But it is restricted only for
Yeah,
8 to 10.
only 8 type. But if you try with another email ID, you will get another 8, 9 type. So if you try with 5 email IDs, it will give you 50 slides. Okay, GAMMA, Gamma.
Gamma. Wait, sir.
Those who have not done it, you download this one, you will register for this one. It's better to register from your official email IDs, otherwise you will get the prompts every now and then from advertisement, some
Yes, sir.
from whichever.
Too disturbing.
Yes. This is free.
Sir, in this one problem in this Gamma, recently I used, when we save the file, sir, want to do some editing, after saving that, it says that font is not available.
Then you have to edit.
Yes, sir. Because recently review, I have sent it to my guide. Later, when I went to the presentation, the file which I have edited, that same was coming. The font is not available. But it's very powerful.
Oh, very powerful. So there are many, sir.
And regarding paraphrasing, which one is better? Paraphrasing.
This Grammarly, then this Trinka.
So Trinka will nice.
Okay. Gamma. Already. You have registered.
Wait, sir.
you should get this one. We have also tried these few things. So when you register, you get this kind of page.
Okay.
So here you have to go to create a new.
Process. Okay.
So let them do. You are doing it. Okay. If you have used a file, so create new. It says cards instead of just like we say slide. It says cards. So slide means it is cards for that. So here,
Cards.
yeah, cards. Create with AI. We can paste in text or just to continue generate. Okay. So now let me say I want generate cards on what is it? Some topic you give. RBA.
That means we don't ask the PPT.
Cards means PPT only. It's PPT.
In language card. Okay, PPT, not language card.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it will immediately gives all these slides, 8 slides it will give. So generate. If you want more, you have to pay for it. With the names, it will give.
So we can upload a research paper, no, so that
Then
one research paper, if you
no.
PDF.
No, you just have to prepare new things here.
Content also it is
Yes,
provided.
content itself.
Yeah, content only you have given. RBI.
It is only provided.
Yeah. Just say only prepare some slides on RBI. It will give.
But if you want to input our own contents,
Yeah. Why do you want this content?
No, sir, we have a research paper, we want to publish it, already got when we want to present it,
No, you type the content here. What is the research paper content? It will come to your directly to the slides will come to your mail.
3 times. Export. Export.
So another drawback in this, there is a watermark below, sir. Even with gamma.
That is made with gamma. You cannot delete that.
Yes.
See? With the names and everything it will come.
Pictures.
With pictures. So RBI has taken some other thing, not baseball card.
So we don't put card, just RB.
Okay, like this. So if you want more, you try with some other email ID, you get another 10. If you go for paid version, unlimited styles you can get.
No, during the class, so we will use it, sir.
You can edit, but this watermark then you will not
No, nothing to worry, sir.
made with gamma. The students will understand that we have used this.
The content we are going to edit it.
Yeah. Then of course this Charts GPT, you're all familiar, right? So under the Charts GPT, the prompt that we give is very important. Always give generate, provide, like that. Just don't say in the common parlance. For example, generate.
So how to download that from Gamma?
You have to register. That's why I
It's
said.
registered, but it's come PPT. Sorry.
Generate, let's say lesson plan. Lesson plan or RBI.
Export as a PDF.
No, it will give you the lesson plan. See, instead of like this one, you just tell ChatGPT that generate in tabular form. So what is the prompt that we give? That's important. Lesson plan for RBI topic. See,
Takes time.
in tabular form it will give what is the time required and what is the time required, what method that you can use. Okay. Another prompt, provide the credits under each unit. So what prompt we give, that's important. So 3 credits. So you can just copy this one. Whenever you are making syllabus for syllabus or some contents. And also you can give the levels, to what levels. Okay. If you are undergraduate level, maybe simple or intermediate, modern level. So what content, what is the prompt that we give is generate in simple level. So it makes for very simple topics. What is RBI, when was it established? Okay. So generate in intermediate level, generate in advanced level. Like that. So generate in advanced.
So it's given for the graphical representation, sir?
Yeah.
This will be
It
shown.
will give, but it's not. We don't personally recommend. It doesn't come such Tableau or the ggplot. That's fine.
The tablet is free of cost.
Free. But now we will see, sir. We have to complete the hypothesis testing. After that, we will see.
Sir.
Because but we prepare some data set. I am not. I will try, sir. I will try this.
Because I don't have idea regarding tablet.
Sir, it's not a Brahma Vidyavara, sir. You are just go to the YouTube or just tell this how to do tableau step by step. We don't know really what level it is going to take us. What is the end, we don't know. Okay, so now we will move on to come back to the topic of hypothesis testing. I think that is an important part in our research. So I think most of you are familiar with the hypothesis, right?
Yes, sir.
So we will see what is a hypothesis, what is a null hypothesis, what is an alternative hypothesis. So some of you must have already started your research, right? What test that should be used, when it should be used. So we spend some time on it, and quickly with SPSS we try to figure out. We just try running some of the. So these are the steps involved for hypothesis testing. First we have to define what is a hypothesis. So hypothesis, as you know, is just an assumption that we are making about the population parameter. Okay. Then after defining what is a hypothesis, you have to select a specific test statistic, that is based on the data type, based on the assumption, what is the test that we are using. Okay. So if your objective is to test for means, always go with the t-test. If your objective is to go for test for the variances, what test you should use?
Use analysis.
Yeah. Now, if your objective of research or the data is to test for variances, what test do you use? ANOVA or F test. So if your objective is to test for the attributes, you have to use the chi-square test. So basically chi-square, F and T test, these are the mostly used statistical tests in social science and other research. So we will set up the level of significance, and we have to run the test spaces or whatever the software we have to interpret the results. Now, this is how what test that should be chosen. Right? So, if you are comparing the means of two groups, if you are comparing the mean groups, you have to use independent sample t-test, or if you are comparing the means of one group, you should use the single sample t-test. Okay. For example, male versus female income, right? So independent sample. There is one set of data. I will show you one example. There will be one set of data, but in that data, we will be having male income and the female income. So in that case, you have to go for the independent t-test. Now, if you are comparing the means, as Madam said, if you are comparing the means of 2 or 3 groups, okay, means of the groups, it is indirectly mentioning the variances. So, in such case, you have to go with the 1 way ANOVA, 2 way ANOVA, education level and salary. What is the difference? Then, if your data is to know what is the relationship between the 2 variables, you have to find out the Pearson and Spearman's rank relation. Many of us are aware of this one. Then, if the data type is predicting an outcome, if you want to predict an outcome, regression of course, all of are familiar. Then categorical data comparison. If your data is categorical data, you have to use the chi-square test. Now, before we go to this one, you have to know what is this hypothesis testing. Unless you know see, my strong advice for all of you is, it is so easy to run all these softwares. Okay, and you need not to be having the PhDs or masters to learn all the softwares. Okay, technically anybody can learn. They can catch one boy on the street and throw it, go here, click there, and learn. It's not a big thing. You must have a strong foundation of the theory. Unless you don't have a theoretical background, interpretation becomes very, very difficult. Okay, and with all these modern tools that we have, analysis of the data is not at all a challenge for us. Okay, you don't have to learn many softwares. You just try the ChatGPT. You give the table, give descriptive statistics, it will come. Give inferential statistics, it will come. Okay, but the challenge is to find out what is the theoretical background. Just 2 minutes of how, what are these things. So what is an hypothesis? Of course, as I told, it's a parameter of the population, like its mean or variance. So we have to assume a parameter, population parameter. Right? So hypothesis is basically a statement. It is an assumption that I am making. The average, maybe the average weight of this class is 58. So that's an assumption that we are making. Okay, I am not sure whether it is true or not. It has to be tested. However, I am making an assumption about the population parameter. That is mu, what we call the population parameter. So I assume this the weight of the class is 58, and now you have to go whether it is, you have to prove whether it is close to the population parameter. We have to test the hypothesis, which is an assumption about the population parameter, which is to be tested. Okay. For that we need to collect the sample data, then we have to calculate the sample statistics and so on. Now, what is the first step? We have to state our null and alternative hypothesis. So always say that we begin with the assumption that the null hypothesis is true, which is similar to the notion of innocent until proven guilty. So alternative hypothesis is always opposite of the null hypothesis. And after the this one, you take a decision whether to reject or to accept the null hypothesis. Always you have to do it for the null hypothesis. You cannot reject or you cannot accept the alternative hypothesis. Okay. So whether you reject or accept, make sure that it is done only for the null hypothesis. It is always opposite to the null hypothesis. Then what are the steps of hypothesis testing? So first you have to set up an hypothesis. Then second one is you have to set up a suitable level of significance. Right. So it's a level of significance in our statistical term, we call it as alpha. So there are three levels of alpha in general, right? So that is 1%, 5% and the 10% level of significance. You have done some statistics, all of you will understand. So there are basically two approaches for the hypothesis testing. One is test of significance approach and another one is the confidence interval approach. However, in terms of interpretation, both are same, but in terms of the method that is involved is different. Okay. So under the confidence interval, we'll set up a level of intervals or confidence in which our value falls. Whereas in the test of significance approach, we compare our calculated values to the critical values. Critical values. So critical values are nothing but the table values which have been tabulated. So at certain level of significance, we will test an hypothesis. Now set up a suitable significance level, whether to accept or rejection. So 0.01 level of significance means it is something like 99% of the times I am confident that I am not committing type 1 error. So that is what the meaning of 1%. Okay, 99% I am confident that I am not committing the type 1 error. Type 1 error means it is the when you reject a null hypothesis when it is true. That is the type 1 error. Okay. So we have to set up the suitable level of significance. Generally, as I said, 3 levels are there. However, your researcher is free to choose any level of significance for that matter. You can do it at 5% or 10% or whatever the percent is. But in general, to balance it, most of the times we take it as 0.5, 0.05. It is 5% level of significance. Okay. Then, this what is that 5% level of significance means? When we take 5% level of significance, that is alpha. In standard technology, we call it is alpha equals 0.5. Then that means there are 5 chances out of 100 that we would reject the null hypothesis. 5% means 5 chances out of 100 that you will reject the null hypothesis when it is true. 95 times you will not do it. So if you are testing your hypothesis at 1% means there is 1 chance out of 100 that you will reject the null hypothesis when it is true. So that is the meaning of what is the level of significance. So this is basically a 2-tailed and 1-tailed hypothesis. So normal distribution, critical values. If your values fall beyond these critical values, it is called the rejection region. These are all positive values. This is basically an example of a 2-tailed test. Okay. So that is the negative values. So a normal distribution extends to infinity. It should not touch the axis, both positive and the negative axis. Okay. So if your value falls within this region, you have to accept our null hypothesis. Again, to remind, we are accepting the null hypothesis. We are rejecting the null hypothesis. Okay. So don't say that the null hypothesis, the alternative hypothesis is rejected. So that is the normal distribution curve. And the third step would be you have to determine the suitable test statistic. What is the test statistic that you have to choose? Whether you are choosing chi-square test, t-test, or f-test, z-test. So how do we choose? That depends on your research question. What is the test that you are conducting for? Whether you are conducting for the means, conducting for variance or attributes. So you have to take it. Okay. So determine the suitable test statistic. Then you have to determine the critical value from the table. Okay. So the table values are given, you don't have to worry about it. So for all the levels of significance, the tables value are given. You just have to compare this one. So what is the decision rule? The decision rule is if the calculated values are greater than the critical values, you have to reject the null hypothesis. You are all familiar with this, right? I don't have to spend much of this time. Then so you have to take a decision based on the rule. Okay. So I was referring to this type 1 and type 2 errors. So what is the type 1 error? Just look at the last 2 lines. The type 1 error means you will reject a null hypothesis when it is true. Type 2 means when you accept a null hypothesis when it is false. Okay. So committing type 1 error is called as alpha. Okay, that is the level of significance. So this is how the looks like. Now it is the right decision means when the null hypothesis is true and if it is not
guilty.
I mean, if it is not rejected, that means you are
Right
taking the
answer.
right decision. Otherwise, you are committing a type 2 error. Okay, it is alternative hypothesis is true, and you are taking a decision. Okay, so that is the null and alternative hypothesis. What is the right decision and wrong decision? Then there are something called two-tail and one-tail tests. Right? So one-tail and two-tail tests. So even at the table values also, we have to look at what is the table value at the one-tail test and the two-tail tests. So what are these one-tail and two-tail tests? See, just one example of what is this one-tail and two-tail test. Look at this example. This is the first one. Sorry, the last one. Here, your null hypothesis is that I am saying mu equals 3. Mu is the population mean. What is the sample mean?
Population.
X bar.
X bar.
X bar is the sample mean. Mu is the population mean. Okay. Sigma is the standard population standard deviation. S is the population sample standard deviation. Okay. So that basic statistics and we don't forget. Then sigma square is the variance. S square is the sample variance. So you have to be about, you have to be careful about this one. Population sample. Okay. So that is so mu is the see, always hypothesis will be tested for only population parameters. Remember this one. We don't test hypothesis for the sample parameters. You never get the why we test the population parameters, because we never get the data on the universe. Population is one of the assumption of the statistics is you never see the population information. We cannot get the population data. No matter how hard you try, you cannot see the population. Okay, it is not possible. So that is why we always assume a population parameter. Based on the sample parameter, we try to generalize. That is known as the statistical inference. We will infer about the population based on the sample information we have. Okay. So mu equals 3 and mu is not equal to this 3 has come here. Mu is not equal to 3. This is my null hypothesis. The average height of the students of the population is 3 and it is not equal to 3. When it is not equal to 3 means there are two choices. Either it should be greater than 3 or
Less than.
That means it's a two-tailed test. Okay. So that's why you have the two regions here. So I am testing at 0.05 level of significance, and this 0.05 is divided into two parts. To the right, alpha divided by 2. That is 0.5 divided by 2 means 0.25 to right, 0.025 to the left. Okay. So you have taught all these things to your students, right? I mean, I'm just quickly going through because being the researchers, we have crossed all this. Okay. Then this is the two-tail test. Now, one-tail test can be a right-tail test or a left-tail test. Okay. So this is a left-tail test. So why do we call it as left-tail test? So you always look at this, the direction of the alternative hypothesis.
Less than 3.
Yeah, less than 3 means it is showing towards your left. So it should be a left-tail hypothesis. This one is a left-tail hypothesis. This is a -3 maybe. Okay. So here your null hypothesis is mu is lesser than or equal to 3 and alternative hypothesis is it has to be greater than 3. So greater than 3 means the direction. Here the alternative hypothesis always tells the direction of the test. If it is to your left, it is left test. If this is to your right, that is right test, right tail test. So one tail test can be left tail test and the right tail test. Okay. So that is how the one tail and the two tail tests are there. Now you look at this one. Just one example, say two tail test. Now let us assume that I am using the Z test. Yeah. So the critical value is 1.96. So 1.96. and it is also minus 1.96 because see t and z values are the mod values, modulus values. Okay, if you are familiar about the t test, so what is the t test is given? What is this one, sir? Pen is not there. So I cannot use this board, right? Just see. So t test will be t test will be given as t equals x bar minus p divided by s divided by square root of n. So it's a mod value. Okay, so I'm just 2 minutes. So unless you know the theory, you won't understand. The t is divided by x bar minus mu divided by s divided by square root of n. Okay, so this is basically a mod value, is modulus value. What is this modulus value? We ignore the signs, right? When it is plus or minus, we have to ignore the signs. That is the logic there. It can be minus 1.96 or plus 1.96. Okay, so what is the meaning of this one? X bar is the sample mean, mu is the population. Our idea is to know how the sample mean is deviating from the population. Okay, how the sample mean is deviating from population. So this is the population. Let's say there are 1,000 students in a college. I want to know what is the average weight of these 1,000 students. It's not possible for me to look at all these 1,000 students. Take some samples. So whatever the mean, whatever the average weight that I get it from this one will be sample weight. This is the population weight. How? Your sample weight is different from the population weight. Okay, so that's what we are looking at. X bar minus mu divided by S. This is the standard deviation of the sample. Okay, standard deviation of the sample. Standard deviation of the population is sigma. Okay, S divided by square root of n. Okay, so suppose this is 1.96. Always remember, when you generate your results, I will show you in this case as your t test has to be greater than plus or minus 1.96. Then only your results are correct. Okay, always look at the t test. So if it is greater than or less than 1, you can just round it up to 2, 1.96 or 2. If it is minus 2 plus 2, doesn't matter because of this rule. Okay, so if your t test is t values are greater than or equal to 2, then your results are statistically significant. It is not that it is true. It is not that your results are correct, but the results are statistically significant. That's what the statistics says. Okay, so when I do the regression, look at this t value, and if it is greater than 2, you say your results are statistically significant. Okay, so that is the result. So now 1.96. That's the critical critical value. Now let us say through that formula x bar minus q divided by s divided by square root of n, I calculated. My calculated value is 5.8. So where does this 5.8 lies? 5.8 somewhere here. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Somewhere here 5.8. So it is falling in the rejection region. So I have to reject the null hypothesis. Even if it is minus 5.8 also, minus 5.9 will be in the rejected region. So I have to reject the null hypothesis. Okay. So that is the idea behind it. So some examples. This is the one tail test, right tail test. Okay. So 1.65 is the critical value. If the value falls beyond this one, you have to reject the.
So this is a standard, sir. Actually, 1.645.
Yes.
It's a standard.
Now, these days we will not be looking at the values. However, we have one standard rule. That is known as the p value. Okay, P value means probability value. Huh? So how do you reject and accept the null hypothesis based on the probability value? Suppose if your hypothesis is, you are testing your hypothesis at 0.5 level, 0.05 in the level of significance. When you run the regression, I will show you the examples. If the p value is less than the 0.05, you have to reject the null hypothesis. Okay. When the p value is, p means probability value. If the probability value is less than 0.05, you have to reject the null hypothesis. Let's say it is maybe 0.002. Now you have to reject the null hypothesis. Whatever the value that you have, whatever the null hypothesis you have stated, right? That has to be rejected. If it is greater than this 0.05, you have to
Accept the
null hypothesis. Okay. So now we will try with some simple tests like independent sample t-test, chi-square test and so on. You can also try. If you want, I can share this data also with you. So how many of you have done all these things? Hope all of you from commerce and economics background must have done, right? So open SPSS.
We don't have data.
I will give you the data. I will give you the data. Is there any WhatsApp? This one you can send it.
Yes, sir. There's a WhatsApp.
WhatsApp, sir. WhatsApp group is there. 21 days WhatsApp group.
Can you add me in the WhatsApp group? I will send it. Otherwise, I will ask things on it.
So number, tell me, sir.
I'll add. I will call Siddiq sir. He is there in the group. I will send it to him.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Hello, sir. Yeah.
Actually, 11:30 is a tea break, sir.
Is it?
Tea break. 11:30 to 11:45.
Okay. You are going to break for tea and come back.
No, put it to that table, then.
Sir, I have some data sets. I'm going to practice. If you want, continue.
ಎಲ್ಲ ಡೌನ್ಲೋಡ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಯಾರೆಲ್ಲ ಎಸ್ಪೆಷಲಿ
Evening. Sir, I
Okay, so I have shared to Dr. Sidling sir, he will put it in the group. So we will try all these things: independent sample t-test, chi-square test, parent sample t-test, unsample t-test, chi-square, and F-test, ANOVA.
ಸರ್ ಏನು ಕಳಿಸಿದ್ದಾನೆ ನಾನು ಈಗ ಇದು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇನೆ ಕಾಲ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇನೆ ಗ್ರೂಪಿಗೆ ಲ್ಯಾಪ್ಟಾಪಲ್ಲಿ ವಾಟ್ಸಪ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬರ್ತಿಲ್ರಿ
Sir, can we break for tea?
Yes, why not? Tea has to come, wait for another roommates.
Okay, okay. Because before we start, okay, please download this data.
Yes, please.
ASPCS we have 20 version.
Doesn't matter, sir. It's like our phones. From new phones, you'll get some new features. Yes, sir. Basic features are same.
Two of your assignments.
ನಮ್ಮ ಟೆಕ್ನಿಷಿಯನ್ಗೆ
Okay, we'll try this independent sample t-test. I have written what is the t-test, and I think we are conceptually clear now what is the t-test.
So,
What is the t-test used for? Testing for means.
testing for means.
Testing for, why it is called testing for means? Look at the x bar minus mean. We are testing whether the sample mean is differentiating from population mean. Okay. So just copy this two types of data and paste it to the spaces.
1 minute, sir.
And just copying and pasting to the spaces.
So which one, hypothesis testing or one way hypothesis?
Hypothesis testing, t-test, independent sample t-test. Paste it to further. Okay, so it will come like this. Now look at this data set. I have the data set for teaching methods, and did you know where did I take this data? Someone was asking for data in ChatGPT.
Yes.
Just type in the Himata or ChatGPT, give me some random data for hypothesis testing. It will give. So you have this two methods basically, traditional methods of teaching and the modern methods of teaching, and the students' IDs and what is the test score that they have given. Okay. So my research question is to know, does the teaching method affect student test score? Does the teaching method affect the student test score? For that, I have a hypothesis that there is no significant difference in test scores between the student who start in traditional method and the modern methods. You understand this one?
Yes, sir.
There is a class. In that class, both the methods are used to test the student scores. Traditional methods are used, like what I use the
Talk and chalk.
talk and chalk method, and there is modern method, AI method, for example. So whether these are going to affect the students' test scores. Okay. So that is the null hypothesis, the research question. See, always remember, as far as possible, we want to set up a null hypothesis as there is no difference, there is no significant, like that, because my objective is to reject it as far as possible. I want to reject my null hypothesis as far as possible, but it is not mandatory that you have to always do like that. However, I suggest, and even the statisticians are also in favor of setting up your null hypothesis as there is no significant difference, there is no significant mark difference, it is not clear, like that, so that I can easily reject it. Yeah, I can easily reject it. So I have stated that there is no significant difference in test scores between students using traditional method and the modern methods. So there are 30 students, 15 students are traditional, modern students are this one. Okay, we can do it in Excel itself, since we can go to data and data analysis. Okay, there are different ways here. T-test, independent sample T-test, you can click that one.
In Excel also, sir?
Yeah, you are not familiar with that? So there is you can go to this data.
Yes, sir.
When you click on data, you get this data analysis pack. Data analysis tool pack.
Yes, sir.
So because, look, just a minute, I'll tell you. Why it is not coming for you, might be you are not downloaded it. Okay, those are not downloaded, go to file. Sir, go to file.
File, sir.
File.
Yes, sir.
Go to options.
Options. Sir.
Add-ins.
Yes, sir. Option only.
The option you click.
Additional ಆಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥವನ್ನ ನೀವು ಇಲ್ಲೇ ನೀವು ರಿಗ್ರೆಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಟೇಬಲ್ ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಎಲ್ಲಾನು ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ಎಕ್ಸೆಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. SPSS ಗೆ ಹೋಗೋ ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆ ಇರಲ್ಲ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ
So SPSS there is some additional features you have.
ಅದು ಈಜಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ SPSS ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಇದು ಎಕ್ಸೆಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ರಿಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ.
ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ go to add-ins.
ಆಡ್-ಇನ್ಸ್ ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದಿರಲ್ಲ, ಆಡ್-ಇನ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅವರು ಫೈಲ್ ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಫೈಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸೆಲ್ ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಮೊದಲು
First
ಎಕ್ಸೆಲ್ ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನಾನು ಈ ತರ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ.
Excel open ಮಾಡಿ ಡೇಟಾ ಹೋಗಿ ಡೇಟಾ ಈ ಡೇಟಾ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಾಗ
ಡೇಟಾ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ರಿ ಅದು ಬರುತ್ತಾ ಅಂತ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ
ಡೇಟಾ ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಫೈಲ್ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು.
ಡೇಟಾ ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ, ಈಗ ನೀವು ಎಕ್ಸೆಲ್ ಹೋದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಎಕ್ಸೆಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಡೇಟಾ ಅಂತ ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ ಡೇಟಾ? ಅದು ಡೇಟಾ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಡೇಟಾ ಅಂತ ಇದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆ ಡೇಟಾ ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದ ಮೇಲೆ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಗೆ ಡೇಟಾ ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಶುಡ್ ಕಮ್. ಅದರ್ವೈಸ್ ಏನ್ರಿ ನಿಮ್ದು ಡೇಟಾ ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ ಪ್ಲಗ್ ಅಥವಾ ಏನ್ರಿ ಆಡ್ ಇನ್ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ಅದು ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಆಡ್ ಇದೇನಾ ಯಾರ್ದೈತೆ
ಯಾರ್ದಿಲ್ಲ ರೈಸ್ ಯುವರ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಸ್. ಡೇಟಾ ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್
ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಇರಲ್ಲ, ಬಹಳ ಮಂದಿ ಇದಿರಲ್ಲ.
ಸೊ ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲ ಯು ಗೋ ಟು ದಿಸ್ ಫೈಲ್.
ಹೋದ್ರ ಡೇಟಾ ನೋಡ್ರಿ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಈಗ ಫೈಲ್ ಅಂತಿದೆ. ವಾಪಸ್ ಹೋಗಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಫೈಲ್ ಅಂತ ಇದೆ ತಾನೇ ರೀ ಎಲ್ಲರ ಎಕ್ಸೆಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಆನ್ ಫೈಲ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಿ, ಫೈಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಲಿಕ್
ಆಪ್ಷನ್,
then at the end option is there, you click on option. In that option add-ins add ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದ್ರಿ ಏನ್ರಿ.
ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ ಟೂಲ್ ಪ್ಯಾಕ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ ಟೂಲ್ ಪ್ಯಾಕ್ VBA ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಅದನ್ನ ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ.
ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಮುಂದೆ ಬಂದಾರಲ್ಲ ಅದೇ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಅದೇ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ.
ಅದೇ ಎರಡು ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕಾ ಸರ್?
ಎರಡು ಮಾಡಿ ಎರಡು ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಎರಡು ಮಾಡಿ.
ಇಲ್ಲೇ add-ins ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ರಿ ಮೊದಲೆಲ್ಲರೂ. ಇದನ್ನ ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರ ಮುಂದಿದೆ ನೋಡಿ add-ins ಅಂತ.
ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ ಟೂಲ್ ಪ್ಯಾಕ್ ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಸರ್.
ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದು ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ ಟೂಲ್ ಪ್ಯಾಕ್ ನ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಬಿ ಬಿ ಸ್ಕ್ರಿಪ್ಟ್ ಇರ್ತೈತಿ, ಯಾವ್ದು ಇರ್ತೈತಿ, ಇದು ಇರ್ತೈತಿ, ಬೇರೆ 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 ಇರ್ತಾವು. ಈಗ ನೀವು ಸದ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ ಇಷ್ಟ ಮಾಡ್ರಿ.
ಮತ್ತೆ ಗೋ ಅಂತ ಕೊಡಿ ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ಗೋ.
ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಗೋ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ವಾಗ ತಗಂತಾರೆ ಎಕ್ಸೆಲ್.
ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಈ ತರ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಟ್ಯಾಬ್ ಬರ್ತದೆ.
ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಹೋಗಲ್ಲ. ಈ ತರ ಬಂದಿದ್ರೆ
Already
ಎರಡು ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ. 1 2 ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡೋದಾ?
ಹಾಂ ಸರ್.
ಓಕೆ ಕೊಡಿ, ಓಕೆ ಕೊಡಿ. ಈಗ ಡೇಟಾ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ ಟೂಲ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ? ಬನ್ನಿ ಸರ್. ಬಂದಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಈಗ? ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ ಟೂಲ್ ಪ್ಯಾಕ್, ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ ಟೂಲ್ ಪ್ಯಾಕ್
ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲಾನು ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾ? ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲಾನು ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ
ಎಲ್ಲನೇ
ಅಲ್ಲ, ನಿಮಗೆ ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಇಫ್ ಯು ವಾಂಟ್, ಅದರ್ವೈಸ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರಿ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ?
ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ ಟೂಲ್ ಪ್ಯಾಕ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ ಟೂಲ್ ಪ್ಯಾಕ್ ವಿಬಿ ಎರಡು ಮಾಡಿ.
ಎರಡು ವಿಬಿ ಒಂದು ವಿಬಿ ಆಡ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ವಿಜುವಲ್ ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ಆಡ್ ಫೈಲ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದು ಬೇರೆ ಡಿಜಿಟಲ್ ಇದೆ. ಫೈಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಕ್ಸೆಲ್
ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ 15 ಕಿಲೋಮೀಟರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು.
ಎಲ್ಲ ಬಂತಾ?
ಹಾಂ ಸರ್, ಡೇಟಾ ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ ಬಂತು ಸರ್.
ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ನೀವು. ಬಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸೆಲ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಏನಂದ್ರೆ we may not be knowing whether it is statistically significant or not. Okay, so that is to be done in SPSS only. But anyway, you can also try here. So you have collected this data analysis. Now there are so many things here. ANOVA, correlation, covariance, descriptive statistics, test. ತುಂಬಾ ಇದೆ. So ನಮಗೆ t-test. Under the t-test paired, t-test, two sample, equal variance.
Yes,
so we have to check for t-test, two sample assuming equal variance. ಅದನ್ನು ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ.
ಓಕೆ ಕೊಡಲಾ ಸರ್?
ಓಕೆ.
T-test
ಸೊ ರೇಂಜ್ ಈಗ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ವೇರಿಯಬಲ್ ರೇಂಜ್ ಬರಬೇಕು. ಸರ್
ನಾವು ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕಾ ಸರ್?
ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಡಾಟ್ ಬರುತ್ತಲ್ರಿ, ಅದು ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಅಂತ ರಿಸಲ್ಟ್ಸ್
ಈ ಥರ ಬರ್ತದೆ. ಓಕೆ,
ಒನ್ ಬೈ ಒನ್
ಅಲ್ಲ
ನಿಧಾನವಾಗಿ.
ಅಲ್ಲ ನಮಗೆ 1 hour ಕೊಟ್ಟರೆ
ಇಲ್ಲ, another 1 hour is there, another 2 hours are there.
that's why I'm going very fast.
ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ನಾವು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದೆ ಸರ್?
ಓಕೆ, ಅಲ್ಲ ಬಾಳಿ
All are from St. Joseph and then Haifa University. We are
ಸೊ ವಾಪಸ್ ಹೋಗಿ ಸರ್
ಅಲ್ಲ
ಫಸ್ಟ್.
ಸರ್.
okay. We'll break for tea.
Okay.
We'll break for tea and then Aramse will come back.
Sir, ಇವಾಗ ಆಯ್ತು, ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ ಬೈ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ ಮಾಡೋದು. ಇಫ್ ಸರ್ ಪರ್ಮಿಟ್ಸ್ ಐ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಟೇಕ್ ಒನ್ ಮೋರ್ hour.
Yes. One more class.
ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಸಾಲು ಅದೇನಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಅದೇನಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತದೆ ಅದೇನು ಗೊತ್ತಿರ್ಕೊಂಡಿಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಳಿ ನಾನು
ಹೌದಾ? ಒಂದು ವರ್ಷಕ್ಕ ಎರಡು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಏನು ಸರ್? ಅದೇ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ನನಗೆ ಇದೊಂದು ಮ್ಯಾಟ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಕಲಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ.
ನೀವು ಕಳಿಸ್ತೀನಿ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಪ್ಯಾರಾಫ್ರೈಸಿಂಗ್ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ ಇದು ಹಾಕಿ ಅದು ಫ್ರೀಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಕಾಪಿ ಮಾಡೋದು ಆ ಕ್ವಾಂಟಿಟಿ 50 ಟನ್ ಮಾಡೈತೆ ಇನಿಷಿಯಲ್ 10 ಟನ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಎಲ್ಲ ಅಪ್ಲೋಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಸರ್
ಇಲ್ಲ ಒಂದಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು
ಟೊಮಾಟೊ ಆಯ್ತಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ, ಟೊಮಾಟೊ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ
ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವೇಷನ್ ಒಂದು ಯಾವುದೋ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವೇಷನ್ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವೇಷನ್ 14 ಎರಡು ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವೇಷನ್ ಕಮ್ಮಿ
ಕೊಟ್ಟು You want that?
Hello.
How can it be useful for us?
This one, this one you made as a in terms of the level of awareness of the law for common people. That's the point. Where you say that only law students and non-law students and make a comparison. That's it. Pre-test. That is also pre-test only for high court testing. No, just make it No, I say that correctly. In your classes, okay? Your class, 50 members for the law students and 50 members for non-law students. Then you can create a one questionnaire. The level of awareness regarding the law. First one is there is a comparative that, and he will be given 5 out of 50. They give as a okay, I know very well, 5-point scale. This is no the middle version. You compare whether law will be useful or not. That's the one. Okay, one statement. That's what.
Dependent variable. I think it is dependent variable. Dependent witness. And there is loss cannot. I think it's a null hypothesis. How can it be?
Okay. Then you ask the opinion. 50 people for law background, or 20 people for 25 law background. 25% is non-law background. Okay. They make it as a scoring, right? Scoring in terms of the scaling. Suppose there is somebody who goes to yes, it's avoiding terrorist. Yes or no. Suppose you say that yes or no. Okay. Yes or no in 50, 30 members will go asking yes. 20 members is also no. In out of non-lawyers, they ask that 40 members will be no, 10 months is yes. That is a data. Then data will be going to inculcate this.
Before research,
It starts from the
proposal stage.
This text will be going to after making the questionnaire. We collected the respondents. After that, you go for the testing.
But now I ask comparing these how can they
No, that will be say that. The marks will be given, the score. Somebody put a 0, somebody put 5 marks.
before doing research
Now, before you make it as a final report, not a
before writing a paper. Can reduce risk hands. Okay? This is a positive statement. It is not a matter. Now I am giving a statement. Terrorist class is a useless. It cannot reduce terrorism. Okay, namaskar. I was just statement. Terrorist class can reduce terrorism. Terrorism acts are no, this is not the positive statement. This terrorism was the useless. Or decrease any terrorism. How can you compare it? After the research.
No, it's before research, middle of research, after research also.
ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಾಲ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಾ
It's not a mathematical, it's a opinion. You think that it's mathematical? The opinions, gather the opinions.
Minus 1.
If you got 40, if you got 60,
ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಬಂದ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ
No.
ಫುಲ್ ಆಗ್ಯಾ
ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ಬೋದು ಅದೇ ಅಲ್ಲಿ
Why?
ಹಲೋ ಸರ್ ಹಾಂ ಸರ್ वो GMR है ना वो हमें लेटर चाहिए सर GMR वो उससे बात नहीं हमें उसका रेट ज़्यादा है सर 270 बोल रहा है
What is? Hypothesis, sir. Come. I will say. Just wait for 1 minute, huh?
ಹಲೋ ಸರ್ ನಮಸ್ತೆ ಸರ್ ನಾನು ಮೆಟಲ್ ಕುಮಾರ್ ಸರ್ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ
ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟು
ಸರ್ ಒಂದು ವೀಕ್ ಆಯಿತು ಮುಂದಿನ ವಾರ ಅಷ್ಟು 15 ದಿನ ಅನಲೈಸ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ದಿನ ಬೇಕು ಸರ್ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಇರಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ದಿನ ಬೇಕು ನಾನು 1 ವೀಕ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಲ್ವಾ ನಾನು 1 ಡೇ ಬೇಕು ಸರ್ ಆಯಿತು ಸರ್ ನಾನು 2 ಅವರಲ್ಲಿ ಅನಾಲಿಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಹೌದಾ ಈಗ 1 ವೀಕ್ ಆಯಿತು ಸರ್ 5 ದಿನ ಇವತ್ತಿಂದ ಮುಂದೆ ಕೊಡಿ ಸರ್ ನನಗೆ
ಆರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದೆಲ್ಲ ತುಂಬ ಅಡ್ವಾನ್ಸ್ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಸೊ ನಾನು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಂಗ್ ಫೌಂಡೇಶನ್ Shall we proceed? So I think I will do this once again. Now we have got this data, right? So go to the data analysis. Under the data analysis, t-test, assuming equal variance, that we have to check.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Now you have to give the range. What is the X range and Y range? That is variable 1 and variable 2. So now we have two variables actually. That is traditional and modern. You can split it, no problem. But we can take this as, this one is traditional and variable 2 is modern. Okay. The following. Now here we check the label. Labels means whether you want the label on the top or not. Labels. Now can you see this alpha? 0.05. This alpha is nothing but that I have written on the board, alpha. What is this alpha? What is the? Okay, now you click on this output range means where you want your output to be. That's all. You select one cell for this. I am selecting this cell. Okay. You got this output. So you have got the mean for both the variables. Mean for traditional, that is the first variable is 70.642. Mean for second, that is why the 65 and 80 has come, you know, because I did not click on the labels. See, I do it again, data analysis, assuming equal variance. Now, when selecting, you select teaching methods, including teaching methods. Okay. And including test scores. Sorry. So here, if you include this test scores, you take this one. Next, here you write, you take this one. Okay, so 65, 80 is still there because see, if you make it for two columns and make it traditional and scores, we can do it. But I have one single data. Okay, doesn't matter. It's not instead of 65, you can take it as traditional. Traditional. This is modern. Okay. Now these are the means. So mean of the traditional variable, mean of the modern variable, variance, number of observations. Now, what is that we have to be careful is whether to reject our null hypothesis or not. How do we look at it? So basically, it's a one-tailed test. Now here, one-tailed test is showing 2.7497 E. So that E has to be changed to number. It's absolute. So you go to the home, you convert this to number. So it is 0.00.
So we are in alpha 0.05. Then output range is?
You select one cell. Output range means where you want your output.
Only one cell, sir?
One cell, any cell.
Okay.
That's all.
Sir, the input range contain non-numerical data.
Yes, sir.
You selected the. Sir, you have to select this one, sir, not traditional.
Only one.
Yes, sir. I already selected.
So for range 2?
Range 2 modern 80 from 80. Here is some here.
Okay.
This one what is this? Equal values. Okay.
We select it, sir.
This is 250 to 1 level.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'll do it, sir.
Selected. Now select labels alpha 0.05. Output range means where it is one click. Your output will come there. That's the meaning.
It's coming, sir.
Yeah. Anybody having difficulty?
Sir, label, what's the
Label means whether this test score should also come in this one. So for example, this is modern,
Okay.
this is traditional. Two
Traditional.
items.
So only that particular cell of
One cell address.
that means we will make it as I quotation go. We have to what to do.
No. The output. This is the output, right?
Yes, I understand. For whole 465, this is output, sir.
No. For the entire thing is the output.
Yes.
You got it? Anybody having doubts? Now the whole cell is select.
How to interpret this result, sir?
How to simplify expression 20.2775 exponential term.
Rahul LKG. Because my friend is there. He is a Salman friend, and Sagar government medical. His name is Shibir. And you work.
Now, I hope all of you have got these results. Okay. Now this is not our job. Everybody can do it.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I told if I catch one boy from on the street and go there, click there, he will do it.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So our part is to know the theory behind.
Basic part.
Yeah, in the result. So this is 5.9943 E means it is giving in the expressions, scientific expressions. We have to convert this into numbers. Okay. Now look at this. So you have mean, variance, observations. So mean, variance. So what is the mean? Mean is nothing but the average. Average is nothing but see, there are two types of statistics. One is descriptive statistics and another one is inferential statistics. Okay, so two types. The descriptive statistics just gives you the summary of the data, mean, median, mode, okay, range, quarter deviation, mean deviation, standard deviation, these are all the
Descriptive.
statistics. I'll just give you an overview of what is this. In statistics, two types. One is descriptive statistics, inferential statistics. Okay, so this descriptive statistics gives you the summary like that. We mean in the descriptive you have measures of central tendencies, measures of dispersion. So measures of central tendencies, measures of dispersion falls under the category of descriptive statistics because they just describe the data. You never predict, you cannot predict anything out of the descriptive statistics. Mean is the average, median is the middle value, mode is the most repeated value. So this just tells the locational averages. Okay. Whereas the measures of dispersion tells the dispersion of the data, scatteredness of the data. So under the measures of dispersion, what we have? This is mean, measures of central tendency, median, and mode. Now under the measures of dispersion, we have range, quarter deviation,
Mean deviation.
standard deviation,
Mean deviation.
mean deviation. Okay, these are all the measures of dispersion. They tell us the scatteredness of the data, dispersion of the data. Whereas under the inferential statistics, we have generalization techniques. We don't just look at all these things, we look at the hypothesis testing. Okay, hypothesis testing, then we look at generalization, sampling, all this will be inferential statistics. Okay, understood? So this is the broad category of statistics. Descriptive statistics will be inferential statistics. So inferential statistics we use regression. Okay, we use time series analysis. I told that Madam told yesterday we had the analysis on time series and arch Gauss. These are all the advanced type of regression models. To understand these arch Gauss models, we need to have strong foundations of statistics. Okay, so this is how inferential and the descriptive statistics. Now we have that mean and the variance. Mean is central tendency. Variance is dispersion.
Dispersion.
Okay. Mean gives the average. Variance gives the standard average. Okay. Variance is given by the sigma square. And this is the rotational symbolical representation sigma square. Now, forget about this. We will look at that data. So I have we are testing at 0.05 level of significance, and it's a one-time test. Okay, because we are assuming the equal variance. It's a one-time test. Now there are two things there. Degrees of freedom, 26 degrees of freedom. I think again, let me know what is degrees of freedom. If I tell, it takes some lot of time. Just you can refer that one. What is the degree of freedom and so on. Now T stat. So T stat is nothing but the T value. What is the one? Minus 11 point something. Okay, minus 11. Now I told you to look at the P value. P value for one tail test. What is that? P value for one tail test?
2.74.
0.00.
One test. One tail test.
0.00.
Look at this one. Here this one. P probability value one time. 2.74. Go here.
Sound converted to
Convert to
numbers.
numbers.
How to convert to numbers?
Because this P is scientific expression.
This is the
2.9994 E means it's a scientific expression. You have to convert to number. Okay. If you get 5.22 E means exponential. This is a scientific notation. You have to convert it to numbers. Okay. So you will get 0.00. Now, what is our null hypothesis? Null hypothesis is there is no significant difference between the traditional and the modern one. Okay, I have written there. Now, 0.05. Look at these two values. P value is 0.01. The level of significance is 0.05. So what did I tell you the decision rule? Whether the 0.00 is less than 0.05 or greater than 0.05.
Less than.
Less than.
0.05. The decision rule is if the probability value is less than the level of significance, you have to reject the null hypothesis. Okay. So 0.00 is less than 0.05. So you have to reject your null hypothesis. Suppose if it is 0.21, if the probability value is 0.21, what would have been your decision?
Accept null.
Yeah, accept the null.
Accept the null hypothesis, because 0.21 is better than 0.05. Clear now? So you just look at the probability value and look at the p value also. I told you what should be the p value? X bar minus mu divided by s divided by square root of n. Should be 1.96 or round it up to 2. It should be 2 plus or minus. It's an odd value. It can be minus 2 or plus 2. So what is our p value? Minus 11.
11.8.
Minus 11.8 is greater than minus 2. So our values are statistically significant. So if you get any results, the main important thing that you have to look at is two things. One is probability value and the t value. Your t value should be greater than plus or minus 2, not value. If it is minus 100 also, that's correct. 100 also, plus 100 also is correct. But it should not be less than 1.96. Suppose if it is your t value is 0.23 means your values are statistically insignificant. Okay, so that is the mean. Minus 20. ಅದು p ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ p ಸ್ಟಾಟಿಕ್ ಈ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಇಂದ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಮೈನಸ್ 11. ಓಕೆ ಸೊ ಅದು ಪ್ಲಸ್ 11 ಆದರೂ ಓಕೆ ಮೈನಸ್ 11 ಆದರೂ ಬಟ್ ಮೈನಸ್ 1.96 ಅಂತ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಎರಡು ರಫ್ಲಿ 1.96 ಎರಡಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. 1.5 ಬಂದು ರಾಂಗ್, ಮೈನಸ್ 1.5 ಬಂದು ರಾಂಗ್. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಇದು ಮಾಡಲಾಗಿದೆ ಈ ಇಗ್ನೋರ್ ದಿ ಸೈನ್ಸ್ ಮೈನಸ್ ಪ್ಲಸ್
0 this one 0 ಮಾಡಿರೋ ಹಿಂಗೆ
X bar ಸಿಗ್ತದಲ್ಲ.
So in this case, what is the decision whether you go to accept or reject it? You will reject the null hypothesis. So you will reject the null hypothesis that there is no. So this is my null hypothesis. There is no significant difference in test score between traditional and modern methods.
So 0 in consider 0.00.
Sir, ಇದು 0.00 ಈ ಡೇಟಾಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ
ಹಾಂ ಸರ್.
ಹೋಮ್ ಹೋಗಿ
ಹಾಂ ಸರ್ ಹೌದು ಸರ್.
ಹೋಮ್ ಹೋಗಿ ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ಟು ಜನರಲ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಸೈಂಟಿಫಿಕ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಷನ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ, ನಂಬರ್ ಅಂತ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕದನ್ನ.
ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ
ನಂಬರ್ ಅಂತ ಮಾಡಿ ಆ ಇ ಹೊರಟೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಪ್ಸಿಲಾನ್ ಅದು ತುಂಬಾ ಮುಂದೆ ಹೋಗಿರ್ತದೆ. 0.00 ಇ ಮೀನ್ಸ್
ಹೋಮ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ನಂಬರ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಸರ್.
ಮೊದಲು ಈ ಸೆಲ್ ಮೇಲೆ
ಆ ನಂಬರ್ ಬಂದು ಸರ್. ಓಕೆ ಬಂತು.
Okay, now the same thing can be done in SPSS. You go to the SPSS and copy this one, the same data.
ಎಸ್ಪೆಷಲ್ ಸೇಮ್ ಡೇಟಾ ಕಾಪಿ ಮಾಡೋದು.
ಕಾಪಿ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಕ್ವಿಕ್ ಆಗಿ ನಾನು SPSS ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತೋರಿಸೋಣ ಅಂತ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಎಕ್ಸೆಲ್ ಸ್ಟಕ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಎಕ್ಸೆಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮುಗಿಸ್ಬಿಟ್ಟೆ.
ಒಂದು ನಿಮಿಷ ಸರ್.
ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಕಾಪಿ ಮಾಡಿ ಪೇಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಆಲ್
ಒಂದು ನಿಮಿಷ ಎಸ್ಪೆಷಲ್ ಓಪನ್ ಆಗಿ 2 ನಿಮಿಷ ಬೇಕು.
ಹೆಡ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಬೇಡ ಸರ್.
ಹೆಡ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಬೇಕು ಮೊದಲು ಕಾಪಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲ
ಸರಿ ಸರ್ ಒಂದು ನಿಮಿಷ ಸರ್.
ಟೀಚಿಂಗ್ ಮತ್ತೆ
ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ವೇರಿಯೇಬಲ್ ಬಂದ್ಗೆ ಟೀಚಿಂಗ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕೊಡಿ. ಟೀಚಿಂಗ್ ಗ್ಯಾಪ್ ಬಿಡಬೇಡಿ, ಗ್ಯಾಪ್ ಬಿಟ್ಟರೆ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಲ್ಲ ಅದು. ಟೀಚಿಂಗ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಕೋರ್ಸ್. ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ವೇರಿಯೇಬಲ್ ಇಸ್ ಸ್ಕೋರ್ಸ್. ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಾ?
ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಡೇಟಾ ವ್ಯೂ ಅಲ್ಲಿ
ಕಾಪಿ ಮಾಡೋದಲ್ವಾ? ಬಂತ ಇದು ಬಂತ?
ಎರಡು ಬಂತು ಸರ್.
ಎರಡು ಬಂತ. ಈಗ ವೇರಿಯೇಬಲ್ ವ್ಯೂ ಹೋಗಿ. ವೇರಿಯೇಬಲ್ ವ್ಯೂ ಹೋಗಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೋ ನಂಬರ್ ಇದೆ ನೋಡಿ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಟೀಚಿಂಗ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಅಂತ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಒಂದು ಟೀಚಿಂಗ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಅಂತ ಟೈಪ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಒಂದು ಟೀಚಿಂಗ್ ಮೆಥಡ್.
ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಫುಲ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ
ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಒನ್, ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ವೇರಿಯೇಬಲ್ VAR 00 ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ವೇರಿಯೇಬಲ್ ಅಂತ. VAR ಅಂದ್ರೆ ವೇರಿಯೇಬಲ್. ಸೊ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ವೇರಿಯೇಬಲ್ ಇಸ್ ಸ್ಕೋರ್ಸ್.
ಟೆಸ್ಟ್
You have to copy to the data view. Don't copy to the variable view.
ಕೋರ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆ.
ಇಂಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಬಟ್ ಇಷ್ಟು ಕಾಪಿ ಪೇಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಲೆಟ್ಸ್ ಟೇಕ್ ದಿಸ್ ಒನ್. ಇಂಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಬೋದು. ಸ್ಟ್ರೈಟ್ ವೇ ಇಸ್ ದ
ಅದು ತಪ್ಪು ಮಾಡಿ.
ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅದನ್ನು ಟೈಪ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಟೀಚಿಂಗ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಸರಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದ್ರೆ ಸಾಯಂಕಾಲ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ನಾವು ಅದ್ರ ಪಕ್ಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಟೈಪ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಟ್ರಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ ತೋರ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಎ ರಾಂಗ್ ವೇರಿಯಬಲ್. ಸ್ಟ್ರಿಂಗ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಎ ಟೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, ನಮ್ದು ಡೇಟಾ. ಸೊ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಟು ನ್ಯೂಮರಿಕ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಈಗ ಡಬಲ್ ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು 3 ಡಾಟ್ಸ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ ನಿಮಗೆ.
ಹೌದು.
You click on the 3 dots and convert it to numeric.
Sir.
Okay. Okay. This one also numeric.
Okay.
Now we are teaching teaching method ಹೊರಟೋಗ್ತಿದೆ. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಸ್ಟ್ರಿಂಗ್ ಗೆ ನ್ಯೂಮರಿಕ್ ಗೆ. ಬಟ್ ನಮ್ದು ಟೀಚಿಂಗ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ ನ್ಯೂಮರಿಕ್ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಸ್ಟ್ರಿಂಗ್ ಟೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಅದು. ಓಕೆ, ನಾವು ಈ SPSS as you know it doesn't take your text and all, you have to code it. Okay, ನಾವು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈಗ ಟೀಚಿಂಗ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಎಲ್ಲ 2 ಟೈಪ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ. ಒಂದು ಟ್ರೆಡಿಷನಲ್ ಮೆಥಡ್. ಟ್ರೆಡಿಷನಲ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ we will call it as 1. ಟ್ರೆಡಿಷನಲ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ 1 ಅಂತ ಕರೆಯೋಣ. ಕಾಪಿ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಎಲ್ಲ 1 1 1 ಅಂತ ಮಾಡಿ. ಮಾಡರ್ನ್ 2 ಅಂತ ಮಾಡಿ. ಕಾಪಿ ಮಾಡಿ.
ಅಲ್ಲ, ಫಸ್ಟ್ ನ್ಯೂಮರಿಕ್ ಹೋದಾಗ ಒಂದು ಹೊರಟೋಯ್ತು ಸರ್.
ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಅದು ನ್ಯೂಮರಿಕ್ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಟೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಇತ್ತು. ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಮಾಡರ್ನ್ ಎಲ್ಲ 2 2 ಮಾಡಿ. ಸೊ ಟ್ರೆಡಿಷನಲ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ 1, ಮಾಡರ್ನ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ 2. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ SPSS ನಿಮ್ಮ ಟ್ರೆಡಿಷನಲ್ ಮಾಡರ್ನ್ ಅದು ಲೆಕ್ಕ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಲ್ಲ. Takes only the codes. Okay.
ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸರ್ 15 ವರೆಗೂ ಒಂದಲ್ಲ ಸರ್.
15 ವರೆಗೂ ಒಂದು.
ಆಮೇಲೆ 2 ಸರ್.
ಆಯ್ತಾ? So you come to variable view. Here scores and teaching methods, now they are numeric. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಎರಡು ನ್ಯೂಮರಿಕ್ ಆಗಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ಟು ನ್ಯೂಮರಿಕ್. ಸ್ಟ್ರಿಂಗ್ ಇಂದ ನ್ಯೂಮರಿಕ್ ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ?
ಹಾ ಸರ್, ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೇವ್ ಅಂತ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು ಸರ್.
ಬೇಡ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಕೆಲಸ ಇದೆ. ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಸೊ ನಾವು we have to tell the SPSS that 1 means what, 2 means what.
1 is a tradition.
That we have to tell the SPSS. Okay, so you have to go to this value. Value ಅಂತ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ 1 is traditional method. Add.
Label traditional method, sir.
No. 2 andre modern method. Add. ಇನ್ನೊಂದ್ಸರಿ ಮಾಡಲಾ? So ಇದನ್ನ ಹಿಂದೆ ಹಾಕ್ಬಿಡಿ, remove. See, we have coded 1 andre traditional, 2 andre modern ಅಂತ. That has to be inserted to the SPSS. So 1 means it is traditional. Add value 2 in the modern. Add. So traditional is really mistake. Okay,
Okay.
ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಎಲ್ಲರದು ಫಾಲೋ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ? Now we go to analyze. 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 Compare means.
Compare means.
Compare means. In the compare means you have so many. Compare means one sample t-test, independent sample t-test, paired sample one way. So we are doing independent sample t-test. Okay. Select independent sample t-test. Now the group, our test variable is score. Score that click ಮಾಡಿ ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಕಳಿಸಿ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಗ್ರೂಪಿಂಗ್ ವೇರಿಯಬಲ್ ಇಸ್ ಟೀಚಿಂಗ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಅದನ್ನು ತಗೊಳ್ತಲ್ಲ, it is asking something. What is the teaching method? That means you have to define the group. What is the group that we have created? Click on the group. Group 1 is 1, group 2 is 2. ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಗ್ರೂಪ್ 1 ಗೆ ನಾವು 1 ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ವಿ, ಗ್ರೂಪ್ 2 ಗೆ 2 ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ವಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಈಗ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ. This is the result of t-test. You got -1, -11. In the Excel also -11 you got?
-1 sir.
-11. Excel also -11 ಬಂತಲ್ಲ?
Yes sir.
ಯಾಕೆ 14 ಫಸ್ಟ್ ರಿಸಲ್ಟ್ ಬಂತಾ? ಆಯ್ತಾ? 1-2 ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಾ? ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್
ಇಲ್ಲ 14 ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ 14
ಕಂಪೇರ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಇಂಡಿಪೆಂಡೆಂಟ್ ಸ್ಯಾಂಪಲ್ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್.
ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಿ ಅನಲೈಸ್, ಕಂಪೇರ್
ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸಲ್ ಮಾಡಿ
ನೋಡಿ. ಟಿ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ ನಾವು? ಕಂಪೇರ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್. ವೈ?
ಟೀಚಿಂಗ್
ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಟಿ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಬೇಸಿಕಲಿ ಫಾರ್ ಕಂಪೇರಿಂಗ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್. ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಬಾರ್ ಮೈನಸ್ ಮ್ಯೂ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಂಪೇರ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಹೋದ್ರ ಇಂಡಿಪೆಂಡೆನ್ಸ್, ವಿ ಆರ್ ಟೆಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಇಂಡಿಪೆಂಡೆಂಟ್ ಸ್ಯಾಂಪಲ್ ಟಿ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಿ ಟೀಚಿಂಗ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ ನಮ್ಮ ಗ್ರೂಪಿಂಗ್ ವೇರಿಯಬಲ್, ಸ್ಕೋರ್ಸ್
ಸ್ಪೇಸ್ ಕೊಡಬೇಡ್ರಿ,
ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ವೇರಿಯಬಲ್. ಅದಾದಮೇಲೆ
ಸ್ಪೇಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಕೋರ್
ಡಿಫೈನ್ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಅಂತ ಬರ್ತದೆ. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದಿ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ನಾವು ಡಿಫೈನ್? ಗ್ರೂಪ್ 1 ಅಂದರೆ ಏನಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀವಿ? ಗ್ರೂಪ್ 1ಗೆ ಅಂದರೆ 1 ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಗ್ರೂಪ್ 2ಗೆ ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀವಿ, 2 ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಓಕೆ,
ಇಂಡಿಪೆಂಡೆಂಟ್ ಸ್ಯಾಂಪಲ್ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಟೀಚಿಂಗ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಸ್ಕೋರ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಮೇಲೆ.
ಸೊ ಇದಕ್ಕೆಲ್ಲ ಇವಾಗ ತಲೆ ಕೆಡಿಸ್ಕೊಳಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಡಿ. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದಿ ಒನ್ ಟೈಪ್ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್, ಸಿಗ್ನಿಫಿಕೆಂಟ್ ಫಾರ್ 2 ಟೈಮ್. -11.516. ನಾನು ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ? ಟಿ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಎಷ್ಟಿರಬೇಕು?
P value
2 minus or plus
1.96.
minus 1.96, you round it up to 2.
2, yes sir.
So ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ?
Minus 11.55.
ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ? 0.000.
0.00.
0.000, is it less than 0.05 or greater than 0.05?
Less than the 0.05.
It is less than 0.05. That means you have to reject your null hypothesis. Just look at these things. ಇದು ಮತ್ತೆ ಇದು ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ನೀವು ತಲೆ ಕೆಡಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಈಗ ಇವಾಗ ಸದ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ. So 0.000 is less than our level of significance. So we have to reject our null hypothesis. In Excel also we did the same thing. Okay. This is the independent sample t-test. Next we will go for one sample t-test. We go to that data which is sent by sir, hypothesis testing. In that we have one sample t-test. In one sheet there is one sample t-test.
One way or another.
ಅದರ ಪಕ್ಕ ಇದು one sample t-test ಅಂತ ಡೇಟಾ ಇದೆ ನೋಡಿ. One sample t-test.
Independent and choice करो पेयर टेस्ट one sample test. Okay. Good sir.
So one sample t-test ಮತ್ತೆ independent sample t-test. So same thing. ಕಾಪಿ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಈಗ ಸ್ಪೇಸಸ್ ಗೆ ಹೊಸ ಡೇಟಾ ನ್ಯೂ ಡೇಟಾ ಶೀಟ್. Open new data. Go to the data view. This course ಅಂತ ಕೊಡಿ. So ಡೇಟಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಪಿ ಮಾಡಿ ಡೇಟಾನ ವೇರಿಯೇಬಲ್ ವ್ಯೂ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಸ್ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕೊಡಿ.
Data view copy ಮಾಡಿ.
Copy paste. Copy from Excel. Paste to SPSS. Next ವೇರಿಯೇಬಲ್ ವ್ಯೂ ಹೋಗಿ ಸ್ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಬರೆಯುತ್ತೆ. ಆಯ್ತಾ?
ಹಾಂ ಸರ್.
ನೋಡಿ, here my research question is, do student test score significantly different from the population mean of 75? My alternative null hypothesis is the average test score of student is equal to 75. Okay, the average test score of student is equal to 75. What should be my alternative hypothesis? The average test score is not equal to 75 means not equal to 75
More than
means
75 or less than 75?
ಅಲ್ಲ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಕೇಳಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಗ್ರೌಂಡ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮಿಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅವರಿಗೆ the average test score is equal to, this is average test score, I am calling it as mu. Mu means population mu. Okay, so mu is 75. This is my null hypothesis. The alternative hypothesis is mu is not equal to 75 means, when I say not equal to, there are two chances. One is it can be greater than 75 or less than 75. Two time test.
Yes sir.
Okay. Understood?
Yes sir. Yes sir.
One time test and the two time test. So basically the testing for two time test. So important question you ಏನು ಕೇಳಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ next last ನಾವು ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದು independent sample t test. ಇದು one sample t test. What is the difference? Independent sample t test ನಾವು ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ? There are two groups. Traditional and
non-traditional. Modern.
So we were testing whether the population means of these traditional methods and the modern means are different or not. But here we are testing whether this sample mean is different from ಒಂದೇ sample ಇದೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. ಒಂದು ತಾನೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ traditional modern ಅಂತ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ.
ಒಂದು sample ಇದೆ.
one sample t test.
ಹೌದು.
ಈ one sample t test ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಈ sample mean population mean ಹತ್ರ ಇದೆ ಇಲ್ವಾ ಅಂತ. Whether x bar is equal to mu or not. ನೋಡಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೆದಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ mu ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀನಿ population mean is 75. So this is the population. We have taken some samples from this population. So I have got some sample. So this is x bar means sample mean.
Yes sir.
Whether this sample mean is statistically close to 75 or not.
Not yes sir. Population.
One sample.
Yes sir.
ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಬಾರು ಮ್ಯೂಗೆ ಹತ್ರ ಇದೆಯಾ ಅಲ್ವಾ
ಅಂತ ನೋಡೋದು.
ಅಂತ ನೋಡೋದು. Whereas in the previous case, there are two groups. You have one sample, but whether this sample is close to the
Population.
mean. So that is the. So say go to analyze only.
ವೇರಿಯಬಲ್ ವ್ಯೂ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಈಗ ಸ್ಕೋರ್ ಇದೆ ಸರ್, ಸ್ಕೋರ್ ಒಂದೇ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ.
ಒಂದೇ ಇರುತ್ತಾನೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ಒಂದೇ ಇರೋದು. ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ ಐಡಿ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಬೇಡ ಅದು.
ಹಾಂ ಸರಿ ಸರ್.
ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ ಐಡಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಪಿ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಡಿ, ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಕೋರ್ ಮಾತ್ರ ಮಾಡಿ.
ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ ಐಡಿ ಡಿಲೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಡಿ ಸರ್.
One sample T test.
ಸರ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ ಐಡಿ ಡಿಲೀಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಸರ್.
ಒಂದು ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಏನೈತಿ ಸ್ಕೋರ್ ವೇರಿಯಬಲ್ ವ್ಯೂ ಡೇಟಾ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು.
ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ ಐಡಿ ಬೇಡ, ಅದೇ ಡಿಲೀಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ, ಅದೇ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಅಲ್ಲ
ಸರ್. ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡ್ ಡಿವಿಷನ್ 8.8, ಮೀನ್ 15, N30.
ಆಯ್ತಾ?
ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್
ಈಗ ಅನಲೈಸ್ ಹೋಗಿ ಕಂಪೇರ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಹೋಗಿ ಒನ್ ಸ್ಯಾಂಪಲ್ ಟಿ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಅದನ್ನ ಚೆಕ್, ಅದನ್ನ ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಒನ್ ಸ್ಯಾಂಪಲ್ ಟಿ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್. ಸೊ ಇದನ್ನ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ವೇರಿಯಬಲ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ನೀವೇನು ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಡಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಯು ಗಾಟ್ ದ ರಿಸಲ್ಟ್. ನೋಡಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ರಿಸಲ್ಟ್ ನೋಡಿ.
ಅನಲೈಸ್ ಹೋಗಿ ಸರ್,
ಅನಲೈಸ್ ಹೋಗಿ ಒನ್ ಸ್ಯಾಂಪಲ್ ಟಿ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಸರ್ ಡಿಲೀಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಡಿ, ಅದೇನು ಬೇಡ. ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ ಐಡಿ ಸ್ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಮಾತ್ರ. ಆಯ್ತಾ? ನೋಡಿ ಈಗ ನೀವು ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕು, ಇದು ಸ್ಟಾಟಿಸ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ಸಿಗ್ನಿಫಿಕೆಂಟ್ ಇನ್ಸಿಗ್ನಿಫಿಕೆಂಟ್ ಈ ರಿಸಲ್ಟ್ಸ್.
ಮೀನ್ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್
ನೋಡಿ ಈ ರಿಸಲ್ಟ್ ನೋಡಿ. ಇವೆಲ್ಲ T48 ಬಂದಿದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೇನು? ಸಿಗ್ನಿಫಿಕೆಂಟ್ ಇನ್ಸಿಗ್ನಿಫಿಕೆಂಟಾ? ಇನ್ಸಿಗ್ನಿಫಿಕೆಂಟ್ ಸಿಗ್ನಿಫಿಕೆಂಟ್. 48 ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಟಿ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಸಿಗ್ನಿಫಿಕೆಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಗ್ರೇಟರ್ ದನ್ 2 ಅಲ್ವಾ ಇದು? ಎರಡು ಅಥವಾ ಎರಡಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ, ಅಥವಾ -2 -2ಗಿಂತ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ.
ಸರ್ ಈ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಎಷ್ಟು ಕೊಡೋದು ಸರ್?
ಅದೇನು ಮಾಡಬೇಡಿ ಸರ್, ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಡಿ. ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಇದಾಯ್ತಾ? ಟಿ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸ್ಟಾಟಿಸ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ಸಿಗ್ನಿಫಿಕೆಂಟ್. ಇದು ನೋಡಿ ನಮ್ದು 2 ಟೈಲ್ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ತಾನೇ ನಮ್ದು.
ಸರ್ ಹೌದು,
2 ಟೈಲ್ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಹೇಳಿದೆ, ಏನು 2 ಟೈಲ್ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಸಿಗ್ನಿಫಿಕೆಂಟ್ 2 ಟೈಲ್ 0.000
ಎಸ್ ಸರ್ ಹೌದು.
0.000 0.05 ಗಿಂತ ಕಡಿಮೆನೇ ಜಾಸ್ತಿನಾ? ಸೊ ನಾವು ರಿಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ನಾವು ಟು ರಿಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ದಿ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್?
ಎಸ್ ಸರ್ ಹೌದು.
ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಟಿ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ನಾವು ವಿ ಲುಕ್ಡ್ ಎಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಒನ್ ಸ್ಯಾಂಪಲ್ ಇಂಡಿಪೆಂಡೆಂಟ್ ಸ್ಯಾಂಪಲ್, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಪೇರ್ಡ್ ಸ್ಯಾಂಪಲ್ ಅಂತ ಇದೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಆ ಪೇರ್ಡ್ ಸ್ಯಾಂಪಲ್ ಐಡಿಯಾ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಒಂದಂದ್ರೆ ಎರಡಂದ್ರೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು
ಅದು ವೇರಿಯೇಬಲ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಹೆಸರು ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಬೇರೆ ಡೇಟಾ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಚೇಂಜ್
ಥರ್ಡ್ ಒನ್ ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಈಗ ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ ಸರ್ ಒಂದು ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ದಿ 3 weeks, sir wants to know whether this training program has helped you or not in your research. Okay, so we have 2 sets of data, before the training, after the training.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that is called as parenting test. Okay? So after and before and after. ಯಾವಾಗ ಈ ಥರ ನಿಮಗೆ ಡೇಟಾ ಸೆಟ್ ಸಿಗ್ತದೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ರಿಸರ್ಚಲ್ಲಿ ಅವಾಗ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಗೋ ಫಾರ್ ಪೇರೆಂಟಿಂಗ್ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್. ಇವಾಗ ನಿಮ್ಮ ರಿಸರ್ಚ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಯಾರಾದರೂ ನೀವು ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಮಕ್ಕಳ ಮೇಲೆ ರಿಸರ್ಚ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಕೊರೋನಾ ವ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿನೇಷನ್ ಆದಮೇಲೆ ವೆದರ್ ದಿ ಕೊರೋನಾ ವ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿನೇಷನ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಇಂಪ್ರೂವ್ಡ್ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್, health status of student, or some students might have undergone some training, whether that training has improved their attendance or not. Midday meals, government midday meals ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ. So this midday meals, what is the performance of students before the midday meals, after the midday meals? What is the crop yield? Fertilizer ಹಾಕ್ತಾರೆ farmers. So after the farmers apply fertilizers, what is the crop yield before and after? So whenever you have this kind of data with you, you can use the parenting test. Okay. So what is the before and super data is the after this data. Okay. So you have to know. When your research is like this, when you are comparing two things before and after, you have to use the parenting test. So t-test are independent t-test, one sample t-test and parenting t-test. So you open the parenting test I have given you in Excel.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Parenting test ತೆಗೆರಿ ಡೇಟಾ.
ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ ಐಡಿ ಇದೆ, ಪ್ರೀ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಇದೆ, ಪೋಸ್ಟ್
ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ ಐಡಿ ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಪ್ರೀ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಫೋರ್ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ನ ಕಾಪಿ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಎಸ್ಪೆಷಲಿ
ಸ್ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಬರೀ ಪ್ರೀ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಪೋಸ್ಟ್ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಇದೆ, ಸ್ಕೋರ್ ಪಕ್ಕದ
ಇದಿಲ್ಲ ಇದು ಬೇರೆನಾ?
ಇದೆ
ಈ ಡೇಟಾ ಇದೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ
ಇದೆ.
ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ ಡೇಟಾ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ ಸ್ಪೇಸಸ್ ಹಾಕೊಳ್ಳಿ.
mean minus 2.
ನ್ಯೂ ಅಲ್ವಾ ಸರ್?
ನ್ಯೂ ಡೇಟಾ ಈ ಪ್ರೀ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಪೋಸ್ಟ್ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅದೊಂದು ಒಂದು ಸೆಲ್ ಡಿಲೀಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ ಹಿಯರ್ ವಿ ಟೇಕ್ ಪ್ರೀ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್
Mean minus 2.
ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂತಾ? ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಕಾಪಿ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರ ಡೇಟಾ? ಪ್ರೀ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಡೇಟಾ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಒಂದು ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಟೀಚರು. ಸೊ ವೆದರ್ ದ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಪರ್ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಗುಡ್ ಪ್ರೀ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಆರ್ ಪೋಸ್ಟ್ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್, maybe one training program. Okay, so after this training, just like your this class, so after this 15 days of training program, whether your performance is good or bad. Okay, so what is your performance before the training, after the training, just like this, pre-test and post-test. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ string ಅಂತ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ನ್ಯೂಮರಿಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ, because our data is not text, it's a numeric data.
ನ್ಯೂಮರಿಕ್ ಅಲ್ಲ ಸರ್? ಎರಡು
Mean 2 minus 2.
Okay, ಈಗ go to analyze. Compare means compare means ಅಲ್ಲಿ paired t-test ಅಂತ ಇದೆ ನೋಡಿ, paired sample t-test ಅಂತ.
Yes sir, yes sir.
ಅಯ್ಯೋ paired sample t-test ಅಂತ. ಈಗ ಪ್ರೀ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಈ ಕಡೆ ಕಳಿಸಿ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಪೋಸ್ಟ್ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಈ ಕಡೆ ಕಳಿಸಿ. ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ, ಅವೇನು ಬೇಡ ಇವಾಗ ಜಸ್ಟ್. ಸೊ ಕಾನ್ಫಿಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಇಂಟರ್ವಲ್ 95% ಅಂತ ಇದೆ. 95% ಕಾನ್ಫಿಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಇಂಟರ್ವಲ್ ಅಂದರೆ 5% ಎಲ್ಲ ಸಿಗ್ನಿಫಿಕೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ. ಓಕೆ ಓಕೆ ಅಂತ ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಓಕೆ ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಾ? ನಾವು ಈಗ ಹೇಳಿ ನನ್ನ ಹೈಪಾಥಿಸಿಸ್, ನಲ್ ಹೈಪಾಥಿಸಿಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ there is no significant difference in test score before and after the training.
There is no significant difference.
There is no significant difference in test scores between ಅಂದ್ರೆ
Okay.
ಮೊದಲನೇ ಇದಕ್ಕೂ ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ
Difference ಇಲ್ಲ.
ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ನನ್ನ ಹೈಪಾಥಿಸಿಸ್. ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ವೆದರ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಟ್ರೂ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಇಸ್ 0 ಅಂತ.
ಹಾಂ ಸರ್, ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಇಸ್ 0.
Let's say your mean difference is 0.
But we got minus 2.
Minus 2 is not 0, it's different from 0. Understood?
So there is a difference.
There is a difference. Just a minute. So there is no significant difference in tests
Before and after.
So ಅಂದ್ರೆ mean difference ನಿಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ 15 ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮುಂಚೆನೇ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಪರ್ಫಾರ್ಮೆನ್ಸ್ ಇತ್ತು, ಇವಾಗಲೂ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಪರ್ಫಾರ್ಮೆನ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ರೆ there is no difference ಅಂತ 0 ಅಂತ. Okay, now that is my null hypothesis.
ಹಾಂ ಸರ್.
You go to your SPSS results. What is the result here? Sir, you tell me, sir. What is your look at this?
Sir.
Look at this and tell me what is whether going to reject or accept this null hypothesis.
Mean -2.225 is there. Last one.
No, 95 confidence.
ಅಲ್ಲ mean minus 2.225 ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ?
Yes sir.
ನಾವೇನಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ವಿ mean equals 0 ಅಂತ.
Mean equals to 0.
It's not equals to 0. It is minus 2.225.
Okay.
ಈಗ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಕೇಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೊರಟಾಯ್ತು.
Worked out.
Okay. Now you come to t value.
T value sir, minus 5.538. 5.538.
5.358. ಇದು
0.005.
What is that? What that is?
Reject.
Reject the
null hypothesis.
Okay. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಕ್ಕೆ -2.25 ಇದ್ರೆ, see under the paired t-test we have 4 important conditions. One is your data should be normally distributed. and your dependent variable should be a scale variable. There are different variables. Scale variable, nominal variable, ordinal variable, ratio. 4 types of variables are there. So your dependent variable should be a scale variable. Otherwise it shows the wrong data. Okay. Then your data should be a normal distribution. Okay. So otherwise you will get the results just like this, -2. The mean difference. Mean difference ಅಲ್ಲಿ 0 ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ವಿ, ಬಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ -2 ಅಂತ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಮೈ ಡಿಪೆಂಡೆಂಟ್ ವೇರಿಯಬಲ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಎ ಸ್ಕೇಲ್ ವೇರಿಯಬಲ್. ಓಕೆ. ಸೊ ಹೌ ಡು ಯು ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಬೈ ವೆದರ್ ದಿ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ನೀವು ಮೀನ್ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ತಗೊಂಡು ಅದನ್ನ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ನಾರ್ಮ್ಯಾಲಿಟಿ. SPSS ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾರ್ಮ್ಯಾಲಿಟಿ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ನಾರ್ಮ್ಯಾಲಿಟಿ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂದರೆ ವೆದರ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಫಾಲೋಸ್ ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಗ್ರಾಫ್ ಬರ್ತದೆ. ಇವಾಗ ನಾನು ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಟೈಮ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತದೆ. ಓಕೆ. ಸೊ ಇವಾಗ ಬಿಫೋರ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ಅಂತ ಇದೆಯಲ್ವಾ,
ಬಿಫೋರ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ಟರ್
ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಿಫೋರ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ಇದೆಯಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಒಂದು ಕ್ವಿಕ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಡೇಟಾ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಡೇಟಾ ಇದೆಯಲ್ವಾ, ಇಲ್ಲೊಂದು ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಕಂಪ್ಯೂಟ್ ವೇರಿಯಬಲ್ ಅಂತ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಟಾರ್ಗೆಟ್ ವೇರಿಯಬಲ್ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಬರೀ. ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಓಕೆ. ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ದಿಸ್ ಮೈನಸ್ ದಿಸ್, ಪ್ರೀ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮೈನಸ್ ಪೋಸ್ಟ್ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್. ಓಕೆ. ಓಕೆ ಅಂತ ಕೊಡಿ. ನಾವು we go to this one, it shows the difference. ಈ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ನಾರ್ಮಲಿ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಟೆಡ್ ಅಥವಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ನಾವು ನಾರ್ಮಾಲಿಟಿ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ನಾರ್ಮಾಲಿಟಿ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈಗ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್, ಇದು ಮೈನಸ್ ಇದು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಬಂತು. ಈ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ನಾರ್ಮಲಿ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಟೆಡ್ ಇಲ್ವಾ ಅಂತ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಅದು ನಾರ್ಮಲಿ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಟೆಡ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ okay. So we will see whether this is normally distributed or not. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ normality test ಅಂತ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಒಂದು ಆಪ್ಷನ್. ನಾರ್ಮಾಲಿಟಿ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್
ಸ್ಕೇಲ್ ತಲಗಡೆ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ತಲಗಡೆ
ಸ್ಕೇಲ್ ಹತ್ರ ವೇರಿಯಬಲ್ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್
ಅದು ನಾನ್ ಪ್ಯಾರಾಮೀಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅದು. ನಾರ್ಮಾಲಿಟಿ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲ,
ನಾರ್ಮಾಲಿಟಿ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್.
ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್. ಅಂಡರ್ ದಿ ಡಿಸ್ಕ್ರಿಪ್ಟಿವ್ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಟಿಸ್ಟಿಕ್ಸ್ ಫೋಟೋ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೋರ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ. there is one normality test ಅಂತ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹಿಸ್ಟೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ನಾರ್ಮಾಲಿಟಿ ಪ್ಲಾಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಅದನ್ನ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ ಅಂತ ಕೊಡಿ. ಸೊ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ ಪ್ಲಾಟ್ಸ್
ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹಿಸ್ಟೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾ? ನಾರ್ಮಾಲಿಟಿ ಪ್ಲಾಟ್ಸ್ ವಿತ್ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ ಇದೆ ಸರ್. ಪ್ಲಾಟ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸರ್.
ಸೊ ನಾವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ 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 ಆದ್ರೆ ಇದು ನಿಲ್ಲದೆಲ್ಲ ಇದು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ
ಸರ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೋರ್ ಸರ್. ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೋರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸರ್ ಪ್ಲಾಟ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸರ್ ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ಸರ್ ನಾರ್ಮಾಲಿಟಿ ಪ್ಲಾಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅದ ಸರ್.
ಗೊತ್ತಲ್ಲ
ಸರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದನ್ನ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸಲ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಸರ್. ಸ್ಟೆಮ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಲೀಫ್ ಇದೆ ಪ್ಲಾಟ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ.
ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸಲ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾ?
ಸ್ಟೆಮ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಬೇಕನ್ನ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸಲ್ ಮಾಡಿ
ಹಿಸ್ಟೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು. ಹಿಸ್ಟೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ
ಇವಾಗ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಸರ್. ಹಿಸ್ಟೋಗ್ರಾಮಿಗೆ ಟಿಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಹಿಸ್ಟೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ.
ನಾರ್ಮಾಲಿಟಿ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಬೇಡವಾ?
ಬೇಕು ಸರ್.
ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಎರಡು ಬರ್ತಾನೆ ಅದು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ.
ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ ಕೊಡಿ ಸರ್.
ಸೊ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಗಿವ್ ಒನ್ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ. ಡಿಪೆಂಡೆಂಟ್ ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು. ಓಕೆ, ಅದನ್ನೇನು ನೋಡ್ತೀನಿ ನಾನು. ಇದುವೇ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಲುಕ್ ಅಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ಒನ್. ಇಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ ನಿಮ್ಮ ರಿಸಲ್ಟ್ ಅದು ಇದಲ್ವಾ?
ಹಾಂ ಸರ್.
ಸೊ 0.000 statistically significant. Okay, that means we are rejecting the null hypothesis. 0.000 rejecting the null hypothesis ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ರಿಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ ನಾವು?
null hypothesis ಅನ್ನು ರಿಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ.
ಏನದು null hypothesis?
Statistical significance.
There is no difference between that we are rejecting.
Rejected.
Means what? There is a difference. Okay.
Conclusion is statistical significance.
Statistical significance. The moment if you get this t value more than 2, right, you close your end and say your results are statistically significant. Okay. Huh? Understood? So this is the compared t-test. One sample, independent sample, paired sample.
Paired sample.
Okay. So one technical problem ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ that we have to check whether this difference is normally distributed or not. ನಾವು ಆ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಪ್ಲಾಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅದು ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಟೆಡ್ ಶೇಪ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಾಂದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಅಸಂಪ್ಷನ್. ಡಿಪೆಂಡೆಂಟ್ ವೇರಿಯಬಲ್ should also be scale. That's why I'm suspecting whether my dependent variable scale or not. If it is not scale, then it's a problem. Okay, so now so lastly we will have a chi-square test. We'll try.
Yes, sir.
So in the data you go to the chi-square test. There is a data I have given chi-square test.
Gender and voting preferences.
Yeah. So copy that chi-square test data. To a new sheet. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಜೆಂಡರ್, ವೋಟಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ರಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್
ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಒಂದು ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾ ಸರ್? ಒಂದು
ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಮಾಡಿ.
ಹಾಂ ಸರ್. ಜೆಂಡರ್ ಸರ್. ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಒನ್
ವೋಟಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ರಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ VP ಅಂತ ಹಾಕಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಸೊ ಕಾಪಿ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಅವರಿಗೆ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ರಿಸರ್ಚ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈಸ್ ದೇರ್ ರಿಲೇಶನ್ಶಿಪ್ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ ಜೆಂಡರ್ ಅಂಡ್ ವೋಟಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ರಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಮೇಲ್ ಫೀಮೇಲ್ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸಿ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ರಿಮೆಂಬರ್ chi-square is a non-parametric test. To tell you some history about, it's a non-parametric test, whereas t-test, f-test are parametric tests. Okay. So why chi-square is a non-parametric test means it does not, the population constants of the chi-square test will not follow any established theories. Normal distribution ಆಗಲಿ chi-square t f ಇದನ್ನ ಅವು ಫಾಲೋ ಮಾಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ we call chi-square test is a non-parametric test. So this is developed by Carl Pearson. Carl Pearson, our very own friend, old friend. Carl Pearson, Carl correlation, Pearson's correlation and all. Okay. So we are basically interested in looking at the attributes under the chi-square test. O minus E, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಅಂಡರ್ಗ್ರಾಜುಯೇಟ್ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತೀವಿ. O minus E whole square divided by E into ಅವೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತೀವಿ. ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ಡ್ ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸೀಸ್ ಮತ್ತು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸೀಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಏನು ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಸಸ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ chi-square ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಓಕೆ. ಸೊ I have collected the data. Let's say I have this data, male and female. Now I am testing whether is there any relationship between gender and their voting preferences. I assume there should not be any difference because voting is common to both genders. Male and female are equally treated in terms of voting. So I have stated that there is no significant association between gender and voting preference. So that is my null hypothesis. Okay. So for that I have collected the data. The data is given to you you transfer to the chi-square test.
Sir, excuse me. So why you use the chi-square test? Because of non-parametric test.
It's a non-parametric test. We want to test the association.
Association. Okay.
Chi-square is used when we are testing for association, when we are testing for attributes.
Association.
Yeah. T-test is used to test means. F-test is used to test variance. Okay. So go to analyze descriptive statistics. Under this descriptive statistics goes to crosstabs.
So one minute, sir, wait.
Crosstabs I think most of you have done.
Analyze the descriptive statistics.
Crosstab.
Cross tabs. Cross
ಕ್ರಾಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಬ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಜೆಂಡರ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಇದನ್ನ ಈ ಕಡೆ ಜೆಂಡರ್ ನ ರೋಸ್ ಹಾಕಿ ಕಾಲಮ್ಸ್ ನ ಇದನ್ನ ಮತ್ತೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ go to statistics. Under that statistics you check chi-square.
sir, yes sir.
Statistics chi-square ಅಂತ ಬಂತ
Yes sir.
chi-square ಮತ್ತೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ನೀವು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಫಿ ಅಂಡ್ ಕ್ರಾಮರ್ಸ್ ಬಿ ಅಂತ ಇದೆ ಫಿ ಅಂಡ್ ಕ್ರಾಮರ್ಸ್ ಬಿ
Yes sir, yes sir.
ಅದನ್ನು ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಏನು ಯಾಕಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ
The free and
ಫಿ ಅಂಡ್ ಕ್ರಾಮರ್ಸ್ ಬಿ ಅಂತ
ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬನ್ನಿ
ಆ ಕಂಟಿಂಜೆನ್ಸಿ ಕೋಎಫಿಷಿಯಂಟ್ ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ಇದೆ ನೋಡಿ
ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಬಾಕ್ಸ್
ನೋಡಿ ಇದು ನೋಡಿ ಸ್ಲೈಡ್ ಇದು ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಟಿಸ್ಟಿಕ್ಸ್ ಹೋಗಿ
ಓಕೆ
chi-square ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ
ಓಕೆ
ಕೋರಿಲೇಷನ್ ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಹಾಕೊಳ್ಳಿ
ಸರ್
ಕೋರಿಲೇಷನ್ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಫಿ ಅಂಡ್ ಕ್ರಾಮರ್ಸ್ ಬಿ ಅಂತ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ
ಸರ್ ಓಕೆ
ಅದನ್ನ ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ
ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ ಕೊಡೋಣ ಸರ್
ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ
ಓಕೆ
ಇದು ಬಂತಾ
correlation statistics are available only for numeric data only. Warning enough.
ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಬಂತಾ ಇದು
ಬಂತು
ಇದು ಕೌಂಟ್ ಮೇಲ್ ಫೀಮೇಲ್ ಪಾರ್ಟಿ ಏನ್ ಇದೆ ಇದು ಕ್ರಾಸ್ ಟ್ಯಾಬ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಅ ಕ್ರಾಸ್ ಟ್ಯಾಬ್ ಓಕೆ ಸೊ ಮೇಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾರ್ಟಿ ಎ ಮೇಲ್ ಎಷ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಪಾರ್ಟಿ ಬಿ ಮೇಲ್ ಎಷ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಪಾರ್ಟಿ ಎ ಫೀಮೇಲ್ ಮೇಲ್ ಎಷ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಕ್ರಾಸ್ ಟ್ಯಾಬ್ ಕೌಂಟ್ ನಾವು ಪಿಯರ್ಸನ್ chi-square ಅಂತ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ
ಸರ್ ಹೌದು
ಪಿಯರ್ಸನ್ chi-square 0.133 ಅದು ನಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರಾಬಬಿಲಿಟಿ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಎ ಅಂತ ಇದೆ ನೋಡಿ
ಅಲ್ಲ 0.133 ಆಮೇಲೆ ಅದರ ಮೇಲೆ ಎ
ಅಂತ ಇದೆ ಅಸಿಂಪ್ಟೋಟಿಕ್ ಅಂತ ಓಕೆ ಎ 0.33 ಅದು ನಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರಾಬಬಿಲಿಟಿ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಪಿಯರ್ಸನ್ಸ್ chi-square value is 0.133 so we are testing at 0 by default SPSS ಎಲ್ಲ hypothesis ನ 0.05 ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದು 5% ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತಾ
ಎಸ್ ಸರ್
ಈಗ ಇದು 0.133 0.05 ಗಿಂತ ಕಡಿಮೆನಾ ಜಾಸ್ತಿನಾ
0.5 ಅಂತ
0.05 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬೋರ್ಡ್ ನೋಡಿ 0.05
ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಸರ್
ಸೊ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿದ್ರೆ ನಾವೇನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು accept okay 0.133 you have to accept the null hypothesis ಇದು ಅಷ್ಟೇ asymptotic significance level 0.133 0.715 so ಇದನ್ನು ಕೂಡ 0.05 ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಗಿಂತ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದೆ ಓಕೆ ಸೊ ಸರ್ ನಾಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ಒನ್ ಇದು 0.75 ಇದು chi-square ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಇದೆ O minus E divided by ಇದು ಅದರ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಇದು 0.13 ಇದು 0.75 is the probability value P value ಇದು this is also greater than 0.05 okay so we have to accept the null hypothesis ಏನು null hypothesis ನಾವು accept ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ there is no association between gender ಮತ್ತೆ ಇದು association ಇಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನೋದು
ಈಗ ಇಂಟರ್ಪ್ರಿಟೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ whether it go for values or that's all
no this one P value always look at the probability value probability value means significant whether it is significant or not you have to look at it ಯಾವುದೇ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಲಿ P value ಮೇಲೆ ನೀವು ಇಂಕ್ರಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಆಯ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲಿ 0 cells have expected count less than 5 ಒಂದು ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ಹೇಳಿದೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂತ ರೂಲ್ ಏನು ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಅಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಟು chi-square ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಇಲ್ಲಿ 0 cells have 0.0% have expected count less than 5. So ಇದು 0 cells ಇರೋದು less than 5 ಇರೋದು 0 ಇರೋದು ಯಾವತ್ತೂ ಇದು 25 ತನಕ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರಬಾರ್ದು. 20% ಇದು 0.0 ಅಂತ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಅದು you should not be more than 20. But ours is very big, 0.0. So ಇದೊಂದು ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಬರ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. If your value is to be statistically significant, this 0 cells ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ it should not go beyond 20%. It should not go beyond 20%. In our case, it is 0%. Highly statistically significant. Observed frequencies ಮತ್ತೆ expected frequencies. Chi-square test ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಸೈಕಾಲಜಿ ರಿಸರ್ಚ್ ಯಾರು ಸರ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಸೈಕಾಲಜಿ ಅವರು ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಕ್ರಿಮಿನಾಲಜಿ ಸೈಕಾಲಜಿ law criminology psychology these research they use more of these chi-square tests. So this is what the testing of null hypothesis. Now in every test you have observed that I have stated there is no significant association, there is no significant difference like that, because as far as possible I want to reject all these things. My null hypothesis most of the times I want to reject it. So if the probability value is less than the level of significance, I can easily reject that one. But it's not a condition. You can say there is a significant difference. Okay, so this is one. Professor, this time is there. Professor. So we'll go with another one.
Yes, sir.
So another also I have shared the table. You check take the table. With ANOVA, if you want to understand ANOVA, you should know a little bit of theory also.
Analysis of variations.
But that theory it takes half an hour. Just quickly I'll give you 1 minute.
After food also you can take.
Other resource persons will give me the logic behind ANOVA is ANOVA is, as our friend said, it is analysis of variance. Okay, we have ANUCOVA also. ANUCOVA is analysis of covariance. MANCO analysis of MANCOVA, ANUCOVA, different things are there. Okay, analysis of multivariate covariance. That is called MANCOVA. So ANOVA can be one way or it can be two way ANOVA. Okay, so this is basically looking to this one. ANOVA. So what is theory behind this ANOVA? Let's say there are 3 groups. Okay, so 3 groups are there. So in these 3 groups, I want to check whether the mu of A will be equal to mu of B or it will be equal to mu of C. 3 groups are there. A, B, C groups are there. Okay, A, B, C classes, A section, B section, C section. Whether the marks of A equals to the mean marks of B and equals to the mean marks of C. So when we have 3 different classes, and if we are comparing the 3 groups mean, we will have to go with the ANOVA. We are analyzing the variance. Though we say technically it is a analysis of variance, in practice we are testing for the means. Okay, so this is my null hypothesis. Null hypothesis is mean of A class will be equal to the mean of B class and that will be equal to the mean of C class. Whereas my alternative hypothesis will be one of the groups are different. Have to check. I assume that at least one of these are different. one of these, it can be A or B or C, one of the means are different. That's how I cannot say mu will be not equal to, mu of A will be not equal to A, mu of B is not equal to C, like that I cannot say. I will say at least one of these are different. Okay, so in that case, just see all this theoretical part, you cannot do it now. Just say that whenever we are testing for means of three different groups, and we want to know whether one of these groups means is statistically different, then you have to go for one way ANOVA. One way ANOVA means between the groups. There are between the groups, between the between the groups, samples. So there are different things are there. Okay. So one way we are checking for variances between the groups. Between the groups means this one A, B, C. Right? So we use F statistic to say the ANOVA. Whether ANOVA, our test of ANOVA is statistically significant or not is determined by F statistic. Okay. F test. F means Fisher, Irving Fisher. It is named after Irving Fisher. Right? So he gives S1 square divided by S2 square. So variance test is a ratio test. S square means variance of the sample. Sigma square is the variance of the population. S square is the variance of the sample. Just like mu is the mean of population. X bar is the mean of sample. Okay. Similarly, sigma is the standard deviation of the population. S is the smallest is the standard deviation of the mean sample. So these are two different notations. This is sigma, right? So don't always I tell them for my students also. Don't, this is also sigma we say, but let us read it as sum of F, because they will misunderstood with this sigma. This is sum, this is standard deviation. You also, whenever you say this as, don't say it as sigma, summation you say. Summation X, summation Y. Okay, so this is standard deviation of the population, standard deviation of the sample. Mean of population, mean of sample. Mean of variance of the population, variance of sample. So this is this one. Variance of the first sample, variance of the second sample. There will be two samples for F test. Okay, right? So this is the computational formula. You can still go on and beyond this sum. Just remember these things. And always remember this F test is F distribution is a skewed distribution. Skewed distribution means it is not like a normal distribution. It is a skewed distribution. It is skewed to right. Right skewed distribution. Normal distribution and regular bell shaped curve. Okay, this is a skewed distribution. Skewness and kurtosis. Skewness means it's a measure of shape of the distribution. Kurtosis is the measure of height of the distribution. Correct, ba? So, this right skewed distribution. Left skewed distribution means it has a longer tail towards left. So it's a left skewed distribution. But according to there is one celebrated theorem in statistics called central limit theorem. The central limit theorem is that if you increase the sample size infinitely, all your skewed distributions will approach towards the normal distribution. That is one biggest solution given for your research.
So please tell me that's all.
Central limit theorem. Central limit theorem. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಎಲ್ಲ ರಿಸರ್ಚ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಗಳಿಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ರಿಸಲ್ಟ್ಸ್ ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರಲ್ಲ ಅವ್ರು ತೊಂದರೆ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಒನ್ ಕಾಮನ್ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಇಸ್ ಟ್ರೈ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸಿಂಗ್ ದ ಸ್ಯಾಂಪಲ್. Just try increasing. If you are doing 500 samples, if your results are not significant, go to 600, 700, 800. If you increase the samples one time, ultimately you come up with good results. So that is the essence of central limit theorem. ಈ ಥರ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸ್ಕ್ಯೂಡ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಷನ್ ನೀವು ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಸ್ಯಾಂಪಲ್ ಸೈಜ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಂಗೆ it will take a normal distribution shape. That is the central limit point. Okay. So the F test of skewed distribution. Okay, it is not normal distribution. It is a positively skewed distribution. However, if you increase the sample size, it will take the shape of a normal distribution. Okay. So this is F test. Analysis of variance means it's nothing but the F test. So the pattern is special document.
So ಇದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಯಾವ ಫ್ರೀ ಸಿಗ್ತದೆ ಸರ್ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು?
ಅದು ಸರಿ ಹಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಬನ್ನಿ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ you apply for our conference, you write one paper for our conference.
You are so busy for that particular conference.
Come. Sir is also telling, he is encouraging. Please, sir. Sir, please encourage your participants to this one conference.
Yes, definitely.
No, we should help them to write the papers.
No, definitely we will ask them because you see there is a one assignment is there. They have to read the paper. Definitely they will send you. Don't worry.
At least on 3 papers, 4 papers from this group.
Don't worry. I assure you at least 50% will send, another 50% another seminar they will send. There are 4 seminars are happening and association with CMDR.
So CMDR is a very rich institution. They are funding our conference.
Yes sir, it's true sir. Even Sagar or Radibinu, so many funding come from CMDR.
So you copy to the spaces.
Wait sir.
Okay, the traditional ಅಂತ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಒಂದೊಂದು ಮಾಡಿ ಮಾಡರ್ನ್ ಎಲ್ಲ 2 ಮಾಡಿ ಬ್ಲೆಂಡೆಡ್ ಎಲ್ಲ 3 ಮಾಡಿ. ಸೊ ಇದು 3 ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥಕ?
ಹಾಂ ಸರ್.
ಟ್ರೆಡಿಷನಲ್ ಒಂದು, ಮಾಡರ್ನ್ ಒಂದು, ಬ್ಲೆಂಡೆಡ್ ಒಂದು. Okay. Now, just say there are 3 groups. My research question is, does the teaching method, ಯಾವ method? Traditional method, modern method, and there is one more method, blended. Means it is not either the traditional or the modern. It's between them. So it's a blended, combined method. Which method is significant? So that is my research question. So I am stating the null and alternative hypothesis. The null hypothesis is there is no significant. See, again I am saying there is no significant this one because I want to reject this one. My objective is to reject this one. If I say there is a significance difference, and if I reject that one, I am obligated to accept this one. Are you following me? If I say there is significant difference, and if my values are statistically significant, I should reject that one. If I reject that one means I should accept the fact that there is no significant difference. So that's why always it is preferable, not mandatory. It is preferable to start your null hypothesis as there is no significant difference, there is no change, no this one, like that. You have to state. Okay, so my null hypothesis is there is no significant difference in test scores among the three teaching methods. So I am testing means are equal. You can see that the mean scores are written mu A, mu B, mu C. Mu A andre maybe traditional. Mu B means modern. Mu C is blended. Whether the means, mu is mean, whether these three means are equal or at least one is different. Look at the alternative hypothesis. At least one teaching method leads to significant different scores. Okay, so let us go to the data here. Our this spaces data. What is that?
Sir, in variable view, we have to make normal of suppose.
Then we'll come to that. Just this one. So here we change the variables.
Like,
What is this one? What is the first variable? Teaching methods.
this is tradition and modern.
This is teaching methods.
Teaching method.
Teaching. Don't give space between teaching and methods. It doesn't take. This is course, alva. Now, here you have to say what is the teaching methods. One is what? Traditional. You write traditional. Add 200 modern. Add 300 blended. Now, with the teaching methods of ಮೊದಲು ಸ್ಟ್ರಿಂಗ್ ಇತ್ತು ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಟ್ರೆಡಿಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಇತ್ತು. ಸೊ ನಾವು ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಚೇಂಜ್ ಇಟ್ ಟು ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್. ಆಯ್ತಾ? So this is the last one. Don't eat your head anymore.
No sir, we are very much interested to learn sir.
So if you go here, so one is traditional, modern and blended. So go to analyze, compare means, there is one way ANOVA anta idine last adi one way ANOVA. One way ANOVA anta click ಮಾಡಿ. Okay, now our dependent variable is scores. Factor variable and the methods groups. How many groups are there? There are 3 groups. So that is our factor variable. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪೋಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಂತ ಇದೆ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳಪ್ಪ ಆಗ ಏನಂದ್ರೆ see mean of one group is equal to mean of other group and mean of the third others normal ಇದೆ null hypothesis ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ. Alternative hypothesis ಏನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ವಿ at least one of the group is differ. If you click on this LSD post hoc test, it will tell us which is that particular group which is different. See, our null hypothesis was at least one of the group is different. If you test for post hoc tests, it will give us what is that which that the group which is the particular group which is different. Okay, so that we not go now. We will look at this one. Solve work ಅಂತ ಕೊಡಿ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. So ಏನು ಸರ್ ಇವಾಗ ಇದರದ್ದು ಬೇಸ್ಡ್ ಆನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಏನು ಸರ್ ಇದು F2 minus 2 plus 2 ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ F test ಗೆ it can take any value. Okay, we have to just look at the significance level. What is this significance level? So whether our statistical results are significant or not? Yes. Why it is yes? 0.000 is less than 0.05. Okay, 0.00 is less than 0.05 means we have to, what we have to do? We have to reject the null hypothesis. Understood? ಈ ಎಫ್ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅದು ಎರಡಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದೆ ಎರಡಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ನೋಡಕ್ ಹೋಗ್ಲಿ, ಅದು ಬರೀ ಟಿ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾತ್ರ. ಸೊ ಜಸ್ಟ್ have to look at the 0.00. Okay, so this is about the so dear friends, with the limited time I
ಇದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಇಂಟರ್ಪ್ರಿಟೇಷನ್ ಇದೆ ಸರ್, ಅನಾಹುತ ಬಗ್ಗೆ
ಏನಿಲ್ಲ, ಅದು 0.00 ಇದು, you have to reject the null hypothesis. Null hypothesis ರಿಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. null hypothesis ಏನು ನಮ್ಮ null hypothesis? No, at least one of this one. Null hypothesis, there is no significant difference. ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ರಿಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ.
That means there is significance.
There is significant, and we are agreeing that at least one of the teaching method is different in this course. Now, in order to find out what is that teaching method which is different, you have to go for post hoc test. So it leads to some advanced levels. Okay.
So, but in the same method, if you click for the post of this thing, we get the results.
Where? We will get the results. We will get the results. If you want to do a review,
Please.
ಒಂದು ವೇ ಅಲ್ವಾ?
now we go to this one.
Analyze.
ಒಂದು ವೇ ಅಲ್ವಾ?
Post hoc test.
ಹಾಂ ಸರ್.
Okay. We check on LSD.
ಹಾಂ ಸರ್.
Done at Wallet, so many are there. Just LSD check ಮಾಡಿ.
So, LSD means tradition.
Command test also. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಥರ ಬರ್ತದೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮೀನ್ ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಸ್ ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ್ದಕ್ಕೆ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಹುಡುಕ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು. ಟ್ರೆಡಿಷನಲ್ಗೂ ಮಾಡರ್ನ್ ಇದೆಯಾ, ಟ್ರೆಡಿಷನಲ್ಗೂ ಬ್ಲೆಂಡೆಡ್ ಇದೆಯಾ, ಮಾಡರ್ನ್ ಇದೆಯಾ, ಟ್ರೆಡಿಷನಲ್ ಇದೆಯಾ, ಬಟ್ ಸೊ ಯಾವುದು ಮೀನ್ ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಸ್ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು. ಯಾವುದು ಅದರ್ವೈಸ್ ನೋಡಿ 0.00 ಅಂತ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಇದು ಯಾವುದಿದು? ಇದು ತಮ್ಮನ್ ಅಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಟು ತಮ್ಮನ್ ಎರಡು ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ ನಾನು. ಎರಡು ಮೆಥಡು, LSD ಮೆಥಡ್ ಮತ್ತು ತಮ್ಮನ್ ಮೆಥಡ್, ಬೋತ್ ಆರ್ ನಾರ್ಮಲಿ ಯೂಸ್ಡ್. ಲುಕ್ ಅಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ಒನ್ LSD ಮೆಥಡ್. ಈ LSD ಮೆಥಡಲ್ಲಿ 0.000 ಅಂತ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ ನೋಡಿ, ಇದು ಮತ್ತೆ ಇದು ಎರಡು ಸಿಗ್ನಿಫಿಕೆಂಟ್ ಅಂತ ತೋರಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಇದು ಮತ್ತೆ ಇದು, ಈ ಎರಡರಲ್ಲಿ ಮೀನ್ ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಸ್ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇದೆ ಯಾವುದು ಅಂತ ನೋಡ್ಬೇಕು. ಇವೆರಡರಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ್ದು ಮೀನ್ ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಸ್ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇದೆ? ಇದು -8 ಇದೆ.
ಸೇಮ್ ಇದೆ ಸರ್.
ಇಲ್ಲ.
ಅಲ್ಲ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. -5.58.
ಅಲ್ಲಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಇವಾಗ ಇದು ತಮ್ಮನ್ನೇ ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಡಿ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ನೋಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಬರೀ LSD ನೋಡಿ.
ಹಾಂ ಸರ್.
ಈ LSD ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಯಾವ್ಯಾವುದು ಸ್ಟಾಟಿಸ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ಸಿಗ್ನಿಫಿಕೆಂಟ್ ಇದೆ, ಇದೊಂದು 0.00. ಇದು ಸ್ಟಾಟಿಸ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ಸಿಗ್ನಿಫಿಕೆಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಇದು
ಇಲ್ಲ
0.85 ಇಸ್
ಮೋರ್ ದ್ಯಾನ್ 0.05.
ಸೊ 0.000 ಒಂದಾಯ್ತಾ? ಮತ್ತೆ ಇದೊಂದಿದೆ
ಹಾಂ ಸರ್.
0.002 ಇದೊಂದಿದೆ,
ಹಾಂ ಸರ್.
ಇದೊಂದಿದೆ.
ಎಸ್ ಸರ್.
ಇವರಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬಾ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಮೀನ್ ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಸ್ ಯಾವ್ದಿದೆ ಅಂತ ನೋಡ್ಬೇಕು. ಯಾವ್ದಕ್ಕಿದೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಮೀನ್ ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಸ್? ಮೀನ್ ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಸ್
-5.
ಯಾವ್ದು?
-5 ಬ್ಲೆಂಡ್
ಮೈನಸ್ ಇದು -5.5.
ಹಾಂ ಸರ್.
ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಬ್ಲೆಂಡೆಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಅದು ಏನು
ತುಂಬಾ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್
ತುಂಬಾ
ವಿತಿನ್ ಗ್ರೂಪ್
one of the significant difference ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ವಲ್ಲ ಯಾವ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಅಂತ okay so with this I would like to conclude the session. I am very sorry if I have taken lot of time because I was told to teach only for 1.5 hours but almost 3 hours I took. I am sorry for the inconvenience caused, sir. As I told, it's a wonderful experience for me also to come over here and interact with you. So thank you very much for the CMDR and my dear friend for giving this opportunity. And thanks a lot. Wish you all the best. So whenever you come to Bangalore, please visit St. Joseph's University. So we will always be there to help you in terms of any statistics, econometrics or any other things. So thank you.
On behalf of CMDR, on my own behalf and on behalf of other participants, I take this opportunity to thank friend, senior officer at St. Joseph University. He has a vast knowledge given in a short time. He has given a wonderful class. Hope it will be helpful for you. Then this his presentation and then that will be recorded. You can go through again that recording and then you can see that all the recordings will be put to the YouTube channel of CFP and then you can revisit and then recheck all the things and then you can practice accordingly. And then whenever if you have any doubts, you can call him. I'll share his number, mobile number as well as email. Thank you. Now we'll break for food and then before food we will have one photo.
Yes sir, yes sir, yes sir.
Come. System off ಮಾಡ್ರಿ. ಆಫ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಡ್ರಿ ಹಂಗೆ ಇದು ಮಾಡ್ರಿ ಆನ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ ಅಂತ ಬಂದಿ. ನಿಮ್ದು ಕೆಲವ್ರದ್ದು SPSS ಒಂದು ಇಬ್ಬರದ್ದು ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ರೀ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಾಲ್ ನನಗೆ ಕಂಡು ಬಂದಂಗೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡೋಣ ಹಳೆ ವರ್ಷನ್ ಕೊಡೋಣ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ 12ನೇ ವರ್ಷನೋ 18ನೇ ವರ್ಷನೇ ಅದೊಂದು ಓಲ್ಡ್ ವರ್ಷನ್ ಇದೆ. ಓಲ್ಡ್ ವರ್ಷನ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಇದೆ ನೋಡ್ರಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮತ್ತೆ ಓಲ್ಡ್ ವರ್ಷನ್ ಮೊದಲು 100 ವರ್ಷದಿಂದ ಮನುಷ್ಯ ಹೆಂಗಿದ್ದ ಇವನು ಹಂಗಾದ ಅವಾಗ ಹಳೆ ಮನುಷ್ಯನೇ ಇನ್ನು ಹಿಂಗಾಗಿ ಹಳೆ ವರ್ಷ ಸರ್ ಅವ್ರು ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು 12ನೇ ವರ್ಷ ಮನೆಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಏನೋ ಏರ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಯಾರ್ದು SPSS ರನ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ರಿ SPSS ಯಾರು ವರ್ಕ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಆಗುತ್ತಲ್ಲ ನೀವು ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ ವರ್ಕ್ ಆಗಿ ನಾನು ಸರಿ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟೆ ನೀವು ಅವ್ರದ್ದೊಂದು ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಇವ್ರದ್ದು ಒಂದಾಗಿಲ್ಲ ಬಿಟ್ಟರೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ನೋಡೋಣ ಮತ್ತೆ ಯಾರ್ದಾಗಿಲ್ರಿ SPSS ರನ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ SPSS ಎಲ್ಲ ವರ್ಕ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಹೋಗೋದಲ್ಲ मुकर बोल रहे हैं बोल रहे हैं बता बता सामान्य रे फोर्स ऑफ मुख्य చాలా గారికి మనపా యా ఫోర్స్ చాలా గారికి ఏమో ఇన్ మార్కెట్ ఉన్నా మరి
Sir, around unplug sir, unplug ಮಾಡಿಬಿಡ್ರಿ ಈ ಕಡೆ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಈ ಕಡೆ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಹಾಂ ಸರ್